Peace. What's good, everybody? Another episode, Put in Perspective podcast. It's your boy B Mad. Got my boy Raymundo Telemundo. Hit your SAP button. Got my brother Zane in the house today, representing the Knicks tape,
Yep.
representing New York Knicks. You know, we got to talk about the Knicks, man. They're having a good season. It's also All-Star weekend. We're gonna get into that. First time they're doing an all-day event. So we got a lot to cover. We got to talk about our Nets. You see me, I'm Netsed out today, baby. T-shirt, hat on. You know what it is. We're about to get into it. What's good, man? What up? Ray, what's good, man?
Well, I start this off from Santo Domingo to Panama to Miami, then to Nueva York. That's how we do this. But like we said, we got a special guest here. He's here for the Knicks tape. My man Z-Mac. How you feeling, Z-Mac?
I'm good. I'm chilling.
I see you all day on Twitter, man. You the only guy in the hardest core Knicks fan out there that I know of. At least on that still survived. How do you feel about these Knicks, man?
Yes.
Tell us about this Knicks tape.
One thing I guess, Knicks, I'll say, I'm loving it right now. I'm loving it. Being a born and raised Knicks fan, I've been through the highs, the lows, a lot of the lows, a lot of the fucking lows. But it's feeling good right now. It feels real good right now to be a Knicks fan right now. I came in front. Even though we won game over 500, it feels like we won a championship. No, I'm lying. But it feels good, though.
That's how it is to be a Knicks fan. You feel like you won a
Yeah,
championship.
son. Yo. Because if you a legit Knicks fan, you know how it feels. What, B? What?
Listen, one thing about me, I'm not a Knicks fan, and we grew up, you're my brother. We grew up in Brooklyn,
Yeah.
but I was never a Knicks fan. Like, you know what I'm saying? I grew up more a Jordan fan. Like I gravitated towards Mike. But I was never like of the Knicks. Like when they do good, I love it. You know what I'm saying? Because the city feels different.
It's different.
The people feel different. It's a different feel.
That's a fact. Like when New York, when the Knicks do good, New York feels different if you're a sports fan. For everyday people you don't give a fuck. But for legit sports fans, the city feels different when you're a Knicks fan, and when Knicks do good. That's why people say when the Knicks do good, the NBA feels different, New York feels different, all that. It's not even a lie.
So that was one of our questions. Is New York still a Knicks town with the Nets winning? I don't feel like even with the buzz of the Nets, it's like the Yankees and Mets at this point. When the Yankees are rocking, there's nothing anybody could do. Even more the Giants and Jets, because when the Mets were winning, they went to the championship. In the 80s, I grew up in the 80s. I became a Mets fan because I was a kid in the 80s and it was rocking. But I think the Giants versus Jets, this is a Giants town. So do you feel that way? Like, nah, the Nets only got it because the Knicks suck. If the Knicks really, really get rocking, forget about it.
I think New York will always be a Knicks town because it's the Knicks. It's the Mecca. Well, Knicks not the Mecca, but the Garden is the Mecca.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, locally, the Knicks are the buzz. Like any back page is going to be the Knicks. Nationally, the Nets got it. They got three of the best players in the world on their team, and they busting everybody's ass at the moment.
That's a good point.
But New York is always going to be a Knicks town. That's at the end of the day. But Nets fans don't care about that. They say they don't care about that, but Nets fans don't care about that. Knicks fans, we don't care about that because we used to this. If Knicks do good, it's gonna be all over national media. If Knicks do bad, it's over national media. Regardless, I think it's gonna be. To answer the question blatantly, New York is still a Knicks town. New York's still regardless.
Yeah.
What you think, D? Because come on.
I mean, as a Nets fan, and just like we all grew up in New York, like the heart and soul of this city, basketball wise, is always gonna go through the orange and blue. It's always gonna go through the Knicks. Like it's just ingrained in the DNA of New Yorkers. Like it's just the Knicks represent that grittiness, the hardcore work. That's why that '90s Knicks squad, Patrick Ewing, Anthony Mason, John Starks, Oakley, like that was the heartbeat of the city. Like just them in the '90s, like that. They were the lunch pail crew. Like Pat Riley had them playing defense. They represented New York. And I think that just for us growing up, even though I wasn't a Knicks fan like that, you knew that was what the city represented. It was through the Knicks. And I don't think that's going to ever change because you got the Knicks have history here. You know what I'm saying? Despite them, the last championship was 73, still the heart and soul of this city is always going to be the Knicks. I mean, I represent Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Nets. I wasn't a Nets fan, but once they came to Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? Me being from Brooklyn, us Brooklynites, we feel like Brooklyn's like its own universe. So I gravitated towards that. Like I was like, fuck that. I wasn't a Knicks fan, so I'm like, yo, I can be a Nets fan. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can get behind this. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm like, yo, I was a Knicks fan and then they came to Brooklyn, I jumped on the Nets bandwagon. Nah. You know what I'm saying? But it's always gonna be a New York Knicks town. Even if the Nets win a chip, Brooklyn, the borough is going to celebrate by themselves. But the rest of the city and the state,
that's the thing. Yeah,
Knicks fans.
I think a part of it also is that none of them came from here. Like they weren't homegrown. Like Durant, Kyrie, or Harden. They're not like right now. To have Randall at 26 years old, he really didn't have a home. He went from the Lakers to the Pelicans, and now he's here. RJ Barrett is excited to see him come up, and even the jump that made Julius Randle, he's having a career high in a whole bunch of stuff. I'm gonna pull up his stats right here. 23 points per game, 11 rebounds, 5.5 assists. Those are all career highs. 40% from three. 40% from three.
Yeah,
and like 30. That's amazing. Like that
surprising.
Alone, we were talking off Mike Z. You really don't like Randle on a fast break. You get a little nervous.
Yeah, I'll say I'm not even going front. Last year, I hated Julius Randle. I wanted him going ASAP. I would pack his bags myself and send him out of New York. But we got a whole new coaching staff. We got his college assistant coach on the staff, and it drove him. It motivated him, and bullying works. I guess online bullying works because he playing a whole different type of game right now. Like he's averaging a career high. I can't say probably across the board, maybe. Yeah, you said all career highs.
Free throw percent, 3-point percent.
Yeah, he's making everybody better. Like last year, he was driving, spinning in the lane against 4 or 5 defenders and trying to take it up. Now he's noticing his defects from last year, kicking it out to different players and all that. Like he knows he was fucking up last year. He put that in his players tribune that he was messing up last year, and this year he worked hard, and now he's reaping the benefits. He's a first-time All-Star, and he deserved to be a first-time All-Star. Last year he put up good numbers, but it wasn't helping the team at all. He was trash last year for team-wise.
You think the contract helped him out?
He ain't getting a new contract. He has the same contract. He's still on the same. I think we signed him for a 3-year contract with a player option. Like this year, we can pick up the option to keep him, but next year, then he'll be a free agent the following year. So he's on the. I guess you can say. You can say he's on maybe a contract year right now, but he's on the team option. It may have motivated him. Who knows? Hopefully it didn't. As far as next year, we'll pick him up and then he'll be trash again. I hope not, because maybe he could be like a building block. If so, send him out of here again. Send him out of here. I don't care.
It's a team option. Are you sure? I was looking at it earlier.
I'm positive he has a team option. Yeah, team option. And we can extend him the following year.
Well, I was just looking at them play, and I felt like I know there's a team option on Mitchell Robinson.
He might be. I think it's possible he could be a restricted free agent if we don't pick up his option. maybe. I don't think we should extend him yet. I think we should pick up his option only, not extend him, but pick up his option.
Okay.
He doesn't deserve to be extended yet. He hasn't proven anything. I love Mitch, that's my guy, but he hasn't proven anything. Like, you can find somebody who can grab 8 rebounds off the street at this point in the NBA. But he hasn't really proven anything at this point.
No, but he's been doing a lot of Hoodie Mellow business where he's in the off season shooting threes, fooling me on my time. I don't like that.
Sham God Mitch, my God.
Yes.
I don't want none of that. Keep that in your spare time. Do not bring that on the court.
But I do like that he is long, pause, and he can get across the field, across the court. You can't teach that, and they don't really have that. And to do a pick and roll with that's what this guy needs, especially with RJ Barrett. We were saying earlier, like RJ Barrett and what am I thinking? Julius Randle. They're really the same kind of player, left-handed.
Right. Yep.
3-point shot got better.
Drive. Yeah.
Yeah. But I love seeing. I was nervous on the Lakers. He couldn't get it together. He reminded me of Antoine Walker a lot. He would come down.
Randle? Yeah.
Yes, big body. The way he dribbled was like ridiculous. But now it seems way more controlled, and I love seeing a rebound. And when they kick it to, they immediately give it to Julius Randle, and he knows who to give it to. So he makes great decisions on the fast break. Those are easy points. I love seeing that. He's shooting this well. That's what got me hyped. Because to be honest with you, it is difficult for me to watch the Knicks. I was watching a couple of games earlier. And I'm just like, who could? That's why I tweeted earlier, like, yo, it is tough watching this. It's like the Pistons from 15 years ago. You can't. It's not greatness we're watching here. At least the bad boy Pistons made it bloody and ugly and brought some Joker excitement, some villain excitement. But do the Knicks need a villain? Who do you think they can add in the offseason?
The offseason or now?
Either or. Trade.
Okay, I'll start with now. For the trade deadline, we can possibly add somebody like maybe a buddy, somebody like a low key trade. Somebody who gets like send off like a like 2 second-round picks. We got mad at those picks. Maybe like a Buddy Hield. And Terrence Ross.
Yo.
Like players like that. We don't need like a big time trade like a Andre Drummond or Victor Oladipo. Andre Drummond, he's redundant next to Julius Randle. Victor Oladipo can't stay healthy, and he has to be re-signed in the off season. So he's a dub. I'll say in the off season we can possibly pick up. I was looking at players like Gary Trent Jr. Like him next to RJ would be perfect. Somebody who could defend and just hit threes. Like he'd be letting it off. Like plays like that. Like Knicks fans be looking at big time players, and them players still don't want to come to Knicks right now, and you can't blame them. So keep it low key. Keep players with the same mindset of when you come in, you're gonna work hard, and Tibbs gonna make niggas work.
Yeah.
So somebody like Gary Trent Jr. He'll come in, he'll defend, he'll hit threes, and he'll play his role. I don't think Portland gonna let him go, but yeah, plays like that. I don't see us getting nobody big in the off season. I'll be highly surprised if Kawhi Leonard decide to pull up to New York. I don't see it happening, but yeah, because he's a free agent, but I don't see it happening at all.
Yeah, I don't see any marquee like superstars coming to the Knicks. But I mean, you never know.
Right.
You never know what happened in the offseason. I don't see. Obviously, it's not gonna happen during the trade deadline. But Gary Trent, that would be a good pick for the Knicks. He definitely fits the DNA with Tibbs, man. Like, and I want to know how much y'all think Tibbs probably has an effect on Julius Randle, because I always thought he was a good player, but I never seen him play like this ever. Like I never thought he would be like this when he was with the Lakers, and just to see him perform, man, it's beautiful to see. You want to, as a fan of basketball, you want to see players thrive and see players improve. And is he even a contender for like most improved player of the year, or he's not considered in that category?
Who, Julius Randle?
Well, y'all see him getting that? Yeah. Or he's just, the Knicks, he's just thriving. I mean, he was putting up decent numbers before. But man, he's ball all-star. Like this is crazy. I'm actually happy for him. Actually happy for the Knicks, man. Because I feel like they overachieved. Y'all definitely overachieved to me in my eyes. I didn't think being 5th or even possibly the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference this year. Even with the East being what it is, you still got the teams at the top. But man, the Knicks, to me, I can't front as much as Ray. You feel you can't. It's hard to watch. I actually like seeing what they're doing, man. You know what I'm saying? It feels good for the city. It feels good that the Nets are playing good, and you get the Knicks playing good. It just feels good for like New York sports to me.
I like how B throws in this fluffery, bro. Do you watch Knicks games? Do you even watch? Don't even tell me. Of course, you watch Knicks games from beginning to end like a Nets game. At least one this year.
Come on, son. Have I watched one Knicks game?
From beginning to end.
I watched highlights.
Exactly.
Nah, I can never say that.
Well, calling me out.
The only full games I've probably watched is Nets games. Not even like the broadcast games. I haven't watched a full Lakers game or whoever else is playing on TNT or TBS. Because they're not my interests. I'm just more invested in the Nets. Like I'm a Yankees fan. I'm not watching a Mets game, even if the Mets are doing good. I'll watch the highlights and see what's going on. Like, oh, they doing good. All right, what's going on? Who's pitching? Who's hitting? Like, who's doing this? Like, who's doing that? Who's in their lineup? I'll do that. I'll do my research on that. But yeah, don't try to put me on the spot, bro. Cut that shit.
You put me on the spot. He put me on the spot talking about. I know. Ray said. Anyway, you did bring up that Tibbs. Is Tibbs that good? I know he had the run in Minnesota that kind of sullied his name, but Doc Rivers hasn't won since he had Tibbs on his team. We all forget that. And now he's back with the Knicks. Now he's back with the Knicks. His name is back up there. I mean, this to go from, and I know we should talk about Leon Rose and Worldwide West, of course, being with the Knicks. I'm glad we don't have to bring up Steve Stout. I don't like that. But you got to give credit to Leon Rose and Worldwide West for this, for the player relationship, stuff like that. So that being said, Tibbs is the general on the court, though. So is he that good? What has stood out, if you can see anything, like in terms of getting out coaching the other team's coach?
I think Tibbs is. I think he's that good. Like the record shows it. If you look at the Knicks on paper, you wouldn't think there'll be a game over 500 at this point in the season. Even I don't pay attention to them, but I think ESPN or the Basketball Players Index, whatever they are, they had Knicks winning 22 games this season. 22. They had 19 right now.
Was that far-fetched?
I had them winning. I think I had them win between like 27 and 30, maybe, possibly. It's not. Yeah, 27, 30, maybe. I think I could be wrong.
So you're happy to be wrong?
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, I think Tibbs is that good because it's when I saw that in article I was reading, like before the season started, he wanted players to come in shape because normally players come in not in shape and then they work their way into shape. He wanted players to come in. He said, "Yo, nah, y'all gonna be in shape before y'all even get to training camp." His training camp was it was like a short training camp this year. He expected a lot of these players because he knew he's going to play them 45 minutes a game, basically, his star players. And right now, Randall's playing, I think, 38 minutes. He's like right behind Harden. And I think Julie and RJ's probably top 10 in the league in minutes. He's playing them like heavy minutes because he expected more of them because he's going to lean on them. He told you come in shape because that's why. And he expected a lot of them. And if you listen to any of these niggas' interviews, they say they love Tibbs, and the coaching staff is the entire coaching staff. It makes a lot different between last year because last year the players they ain't giving their all. They came in, they did what they had to do, whatever. They got their numbers up, they got paid or they got traded to different teams, and then they did that. Yeah, that's it. Tibbs we got a competent coach for once.
You want to chime in, B, or?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you brought up a good point. Like with Tibbs, making these guys work out, get in playing shape before camp. I mean, yeah, because obviously the season was short with COVID. The finals was just a few months ago, and for them to have that turnaround around Christmas, the week of Christmas, the minutes per game, and I think Ray, you had said this we was talking about this a few episodes back, or we might, I don't know if it was off camera or whatever we was talking about, and you mentioned Derrick Rose and how he got hurt, and Tibbs is just running them too much. I think when he got hurt, the last garbage time in the fourth quarter, when Derrick Rose got that first injury, I'm just worried. I was just looking up Julius Randle's minutes per game. It's not that crazy. It's not bad. It's
he like 38, 39.
36 minutes per game. Yeah, it's. I'm looking at what's this Basketball Reference? It's 36.7 at the minute. That's decent. I'm just I was worried. I'm like, man, I hope he ain't gonna be running these boys into the ground, man, because I mean that was his reputation too. I was worried about that.
Yeah, that's my only problem with him.
Is that, but he's shown that he can get past that. He found cause it feels like he does a playoff rotation during the regular season, and it's just bro. And these guys are young. They're the top 10 youngest team in the league. I think they're tied for 9th or whatever it is. So they can do that. All the older teams are basically playoff teams besides them. I think they're the only playoff team in the top 10 youngest teams. And they average, I think, 25, 26 years old. So they can do that. And it's crazy that he's not running them to the ground. But I think with Derrick Rose, he was bound to get hurt. I don't think he was gonna. He was an injury prone dude. I don't think he was gonna Westbrook is a different guy. Westbrook had similar injuries, I think, and he just bounced back. He's an animal. You can't control a Wolverine blooded dude. Derrick Rose, unfortunately, I love both in their prime. It just as a sidebar, but I thought Derrick Rose was on his way to be. He played with a higher IQ, and that's what the Tibbs loves is the higher IQ guys. But even I was saying defensively, do you notice anything the last 2 or 3 years that maybe he does where you go, oh, that's what he brings to the game? Because I really don't. I know he loves the Joakim Noahs of the world because of that, and the Kevin Garnett's because of that. But what does Julius Randle play differently under him?
I think the entire team plays differently under him because he expects a lot out of him. If you're not, I'll say his favorite players, you'll get benched if you're not really playing legit defense. Like Julius Randle, he can slack off a possession or two on defense because he's putting up 23, 11, and 5. He's allowed to do that. But somebody like I think Alfred Payton or whoever else, if you're slacking up 2 possessions in a row on defense, you have to go into the bench. And he holds everybody accountable. Julius Randle, he was on it was either Julius Randle, IQ, or Obi. One of them was on this interview and saying he holds the player, the star player, and the last player on the bench accountable the same way. And that's what players like. He don't hold and he don't. It's no star treatment basically. It's probably is, but not as far as work ethic. So everybody gets the same kind of accountability. If you're not gonna work your ass off on defense while you're on the court, you're going to the bench. And I think that's what we needed. New York is known for defense, and he came in with the mindset of we are gonna play defense first, and then we're gonna figure everything else afterwards. Julius, he started playing defense. He plays better defense than he did last year, but it's more team defense than anything.
So is it too early, or is it safe to say that this is the best coach since Pat Riley?
No, I can't say that. I can't because then I'll be knocking Mike Woodson because he gave us 54 wins. That was the last time we made it to the playoff. Last time we made it to the playoffs, matter of fact. In 2012, 2013, with Melo's third in MVP voting, we pioneered basically 3-point shooting, even though people want to say that was Steph Curry, but New York was shooting number 3s that year. And we made it to the second round of the playoffs. So I'll say he's the best coach we had since Mike Woodson, who's on the coaching staff right now.
So I had a question about there being a Pat Riley curse. Because I think I thought it was a great point about Mike Woodson. I forgot he did do that well. But since Pat Riley left in '95, he's been to 6 chips and he's won 3.
Yeah.
And he controlled the team. And all he wanted to do was, I think he wanted partial ownership probably, and that's why they said no. But for him to run the team, turn Miami around the way that he did, do you think anything like, yo, maybe we could have gotten LeBron and D-Wade in New York back then? Did it finally? I mean, when Donnie Walsh was here, they ruined that. They traded the entire team for Carmelo. That was silly. That kind of them winning as well. So do you think Pat Riley not being here, there may be a little goat curse going on with Riley?
I'll say with that, Riley wanted complete autonomy and I guess ownership of whatever goes on. He wanted to be the coach, and he wanted whatever happens in the front office. He wanted final say on it. And back then, James Dolan, he didn't want none of that. I think he just got James Dolan, he wasn't there yet. I think he got in 2000. Yeah, it wasn't there yet.
Check is the guy that with the owns the Rangers also.
Yeah, Dolan got I think 2000. So I'm wrong about that. But yeah, he Pat Riley, he wanted complete ownership, everything, and I guess ownership didn't want him. They didn't want him having none of that. So he probably dipped off and he left. I can't say that we'll probably have LeBron if we had Pat Riley. It's hard to say because then there's what ifs. Because then you can say what if for anything. What if Carmelo wasn't traded during midseason? We got him during the off season. We would have our full team plus Melo. Who knows how far we went? Yeah, it's hard to say.
But I don't think Riley would have. That's my point. I think Riley would have been like,
yeah, yeah,
trading the whole team. He's just diligent like that.
Yeah, Riley is different. That's the thing. Like, I don't know what happened. I have to read more into what happened with Riley back then, like in 95, 96, while he really left. But from what I heard, he really wanted like full autonomy, like what he says goes. And maybe they should have gave him that because look, all his teams since then.
Yeah, Miami.
Yeah. Like Miami has been, I can't say flourishing, but they won, like you said, they won championships since then. They've been relevant since then.
Totally relevant. I thought you could even look at Riley and see it's like a sliding doors effect. He looks like an old Miami dude right now, old cool Miami dude, but he could have easily looked like an old Wall Street dude. you know what I'm saying?
Right, that's a fact.
Yo, I did want to add for the off season. I had a list here because I did see Oladipo was unrestricted, and you don't care for him, but Kyle Lowry's unrestricted, and Jarrett Allen is restricted. But I think the Knicks should offer him the whole shebang and bring him back to New York because he fits amazing.
Yeah, he'll fit perfectly. Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
I can't say that because my guy Gritty, he would kill me for saying that. But yeah, Jarrett Allen, he would fit perfectly with the Knicks.
We are on record. I'm on record on here talking about that Jarrett Allen. I mean, the Harden trade doesn't happen without Jarrett Allen. I get it, but that piece to me that hurt most, the Jarrett Allen trade. Like just because I knew his potential. He was doing great, man.
You see his numbers now.
They started this season. Look, bro, it's ridiculous. He's a future star. I'm telling you, like he's gonna be a problem. The Nets are gonna regret that. I mean, unless they win a championship with James Harden, but still, man, having him, if you still have with this team, I don't see anybody beating him, man, because he's the rim protector. He can score, rebound, defense. Young dude's only 22, and he's looking great in Cleveland, man. So if the Knicks or whoever tries to get him, that's a great pickup for whoever gets him.
That's the first player that stood out to me when I was looking at the list. I saw he was restricted, but I'm like, a guy like Tibbs, he would do everything in their power. Worldwide West and Leon Rose could create that relationship with Jared Allen. Then maybe we could finally fit in, this guy Steve Stout, and tell him like, I'll send you to Rock Nation. You know what I mean? I'll do whatever it is it takes to give you whatever endorsements. You'll be the man. Like he would be the man in New York. If you bring him like to anchor the defense, like he's amazing to watch, to be honest with you. I didn't watch many Nets games before, but I love watching Jared Allen on Cleveland.
My thing about him, Cleveland, that was like they made trade piece, so they're not letting him go. Whatever anybody offers him, they're matching that. You can offer him $5 million. I mean, $500 million. They're gonna match that because that was their main trade piece. They wanted him. That's why Drummond is gonna be traded off soon. He's not going anywhere, so it'll be pointless for the Knicks to even try to attempt to tie up their cap to offer him something. Because Cleveland's not let him. They don't let him go at all.
Okay, I would have thrown the whole entire kitchen sink and everything to try to eat, whatever it is, to try to get him. But you don't like what's his name, Oladipo? You don't.
Nah.
He's injury prone.
Nah. He plays well, but like he's injury prone. He can put up 30 points 2 games in a row. Next game he's rehabbing his quad that he injured last year. It's like, bro. Come on. And I like him as a player. And he would do great in the New York market with his singing and all that. And he'll be a great piece next to Julius Randle. But he's injury prone. And I don't see a point of Knicks trading their assets for somebody who injury prone and then they have to pay in the offseason. It's pointless. If we can get him for something like probably 2 second rounds, maybe, cool. My fault, B.
No, that's good, bro. I know Mel was, our boy Mel. He was talking about he thinks that Oladipo should go to the Lakers. I mean, what do y'all think about that?
The Lakers. I think ultimately
the size is happening.
How would he even get there?
I think at the end of the day, he's gonna end up on the Heat.
That's what he wants to.
And I think that's what everybody knows. So nobody's really trying to give up anything for him because he's gonna end up on the Heat regardless.
Right.
Lakers, he'll be cool there, but they don't have nothing to give up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even he's a ball stopper too. Pause. But he like it's hard dealing with once you have LeBron and him, they're stopping the ball, and then Schroeder. You need to get some ball movement around. But the Lakers are desperate enough to try to, get someone like the team.
Yeah.
And even the Clippers, it makes sense because he's an expiring contract for a 1-year deal. Toronto did that. The Clippers are desperate enough, and they need a point guard.
But why would they pick up Oladipo though, bro?
Yeah, you need a point guard more than him.
Why? I mean, because you have Paul. He's kind of similar to what Paul George and Kawhi Leonard do. He's like in between them. I don't see them doing that. They'll be too undersized to me. I mean, the league plays small ball now, but I don't see him fitting the Clippers, bro. I don't see that happening.
Because the Nets wrote the blueprint now. They have 3 one-on-one players, and all of it, like we talked off mic, all it is pick and roll game and zone defense. Oladipo's kind of tough. I mean, all I'm worried about is him being injured. But Paul George, he has not exercised the playoff demons. Kawhi Leonard is now, has to play off Paul George, and it doesn't seem like they got their act together. And it does seem like they're missing a point guard. And I don't, Oladipo is not really a natural point guard. He is more of a 2, Z, like you're saying. But to have 3 1-1 players in this era, it is necessary. I'm just saying, I would love to see him on the Bucks, or even Philly.
But the Bucks or Philly would be better. But
they have nothing to give up.
The Clippers. Yeah. See, damn. Yo, but I can see the Clippers getting Kyle Lowry or somebody like that trying to get him. They need a point guard. That's what they need.
That's what they need.
Kyle Lowry over there.
The Clippers need a point guard. That's what they need.
That's what they're missing.
If the Clippers could get like a legit point, like a Kyle Lowry would be perfect. A Ricky Rubio would be good. They need a point guard. If they don't need another scorer. They need somebody who can set up their offense and occasionally score.
Rubio pissed me off, man. I was excited when he came to the league, and he's
a solid pro. He's a solid pro. He's not.
He still can't
crazy.
Shoot. Like Westbrook. Westbrook shot 15% from 3 in February. What do you think he can shoot? Yeah. It's just low IQ, bro. And then what makes it worse is Rubio is such a great passer. So shooting only opens up your game. Jason Kidd couldn't shoot when he first came to the league, then he became one of the top 3-point shooters ever. Yeah. So it's possible, but
wait, Rubio. I think Rubio he shoots decent now. I'm not sure his percentage right now, but I think he shoots okay. He shoots a lot better than Westbrook. You can pull up his stats. I'm not sure what it is, but he shoots a lot better than I'd say average. Maybe he may be like probably like 34% from three. Maybe I could be wrong.
He was like, if I'm not mistaken, Ricky Rubio, along with Westbrook, had like a record for the worst 3-point shooting, like 4 or 5. Yeah. It was bad.
I know Westbrook is terrible from three. Like that's I have no idea.
It's upsetting because I can't say nobody checked him, but he did need somebody to like pull his coat, like, yo, Russ, check this out. You nobody could stop you, but what is like why? Why? So Rubio's actually last year he shot 36%, today 32%, this year 32%, almost 33 basically. A lot better than he shot 35% in Utah for a couple games. What was that, 27 games? So he's gotten better. It's in the mid-range 30s now.
I think that's who the Clippers need. They need a point guard. If anything, they should find a way to, because they let Rondo slip, they let CP3 slip out their fingers, they let who else? Another point guard I can't think off the top of my head. Slip between their fingers. Like Jeff Teague, plays like that. That's what they need, and they need a point guard. If they can find a legit point guard who can facilitate the offense, like once in blue on the half court game, they'll be all right. They'll be okay. Until then, I don't see them making past maybe the Western Conference Finals, even if they get there, possibly.
So I think we were done with the Knicks talk. I think B wanted to get on with his Nets.
I'm out.
It's been good. You can black out your screen now. You already know what time it is, baby. Big three. You're taking over New York. Brooklyn is a planet. You already know. You see the logo.
I hate that.
3 All-Stars.
I hate that I have like the fact that I'm from Brooklyn. I hate the Nets is crazy to me. Like, oh my god,
that is crazy.
It's oh my god, it hurts my soul to say fuck Brooklyn, but I can't. I can never say fuck Brooklyn. I can always say fuck the Nets.
Oh right,
that's a pause. I don't know why it's a pause. Pause.
Oh my god.
Who do you think is their worst matchup? Would be the worst matchup for them in the Eastern Conference playoffs?
Jackson, me or B?
Me and B already talked about this last podcast, but we would love your Z-Mac.
The worst matchup will possibly in the East or in general?
Nah, in the East, because the playoff
East. Yeah. I'll say the worst matchup will possibly be maybe the Heat and the Sixers. Only because the Heat plays defense crazy. Yo, I hate the Heat because they play defense crazy. Like their defense is different, and they can like hit threes randomly at any time. They can hit like 10 threes in one quarter.
And bam.
Bam. And Bam and Jimmy Butler are different. Like Jimmy Butler's mindset is different. He can just go off at any given point in the game. I say Sixers. Yeah, I say Sixers because MB is playing at MVP level. He's 30 and 10 a game.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Ben Simmons. He can possibly give you a good 15, 10 and 8 a game, maybe, but he's still accountable. He can guard KD for a possession or two. Then he can guard Kyrie for a possession or two. I say those two teams are probably the worst matchup. I think they should try to avoid them somehow. The Bucks, I don't care about them.
Yeah, we're in the same space. I thought Toronto at first, if it would have got healthy, but they never made that trade for whatever because they're long. A lot of deflections. Siakam, when he got healthy, I thought they would, but they've been, and the fact that they're looking to trade Lowry, that means that maybe the GM is trying to get out of there. Yeah,
the Raptors, that's barbecue chicken for the Nets. Like I don't see who can. They can't match up with the Nets at all because Lowry, he's gonna flop all the time. He won't be a guard Kyrie or James Harden. Van Vliet, he's too small for Harden if they put him on there. Then you have Siakam. I was never a big fan of Siakam. I think he was overhyped.
You think so?
I think Siakam's overhyped. I think he's overpaid and he's overhyped.
You're right.
Yeah, I was never a fan of Siakam.
I'm not a fan, but once they were a team, there's a reason why like you put Kawhi there, and it was like, oh, this is a championship team. Same thing. Well, not the same thing with the. That's what I envision the Knicks doing if they can pick up. That's who we're looking for in the offseason. Like we already have this core with the Knicks. All right, who can add to that and really complement it, as opposed to like that's what you don't want to ruin that chemistry that they got going on and just get people or get whoever's available. Who we said was available before?
You said Lowry, Oladipo.
Lowry might. I mean, Lowry's a little. I can see him on the Knicks. He passes the ball. He's like pit bull tough, but that's how I see Siakam. He doesn't. He's a team player, and he fits this league. He could guard 1 through 4, 1 through 5. So not offensively, but defensively, he's a guy that you want on your team, that you need on your team in this day and age.
For Siakam, he just like I love seeing black players get paid, so I would never count his pockets, which I'm about to do right now. I'm about to do that right now. No, he's overpaid. like they they paid him thinking he's gonna be at the next coming of Kawhi when Kawhi left, and he's nothing like that.
No,
he's not. Like he's not that.
Yeah.
No,
he's a decent. He's a complimentary piece on a good team. He's not a first, second, or third option, honestly. In my opinion.
Yeah, they put a lot of stock. They put a lot of stock in Siakam, man. I mean, rightfully so. Like he fit that system, but like you said, like without Kawhi there, someone like that, he's not really like. I don't see him thriving and being your number 1 or 2 on another team, a contender. Like I mean, he's a good piece, like a third, a number 3. But I mean, he's a good player. He's good.
Yeah, he is.
You can go 1 through 4, like you said, but I'm not that. I wasn't that sold on him either.
Yeah, I would love him on the Knicks, but I would never rely on him to be. I would never say, "Yo, we need Siakam to give us a good 20 and 10 tonight, or a good 20 points tonight." I wouldn't rely on that. I wouldn't. If I was working the management, I wouldn't rely on that.
No, but he's a complimentary piece.
He's a great complimentary piece. Yeah.
Do you have Harden in the MVP race, or it's too soon?
Nah, he is. Unfortunately, yeah, he definitely is. Yeah, Harden is. My MVP list goes in no order, but I think Embiid's at top. Well, I can't say no order, but Embiid at top. After Embiid, I got matter of fact, no order. I have Embiid, I got Dame, and I have Harden. My top 3 for my MVP list.
Dame Lillard.
Yeah, that's my top 3.
Yes.
Oh, well,
I think Harden's gonna drop back once KD comes back, but yeah, right now he is.
Over LeBron?
Yeah, because LeBron was playing great, but then AD got hurt. He was playing decent. And they went on like a losing streak, I think, and then he hasn't played. He played well, but the team's been losing, right?
They won the last couple games, though.
Yeah.
How many games they won in a row?
I think 2. I want to say 2, and Schroeder came back for the last one. So, but before that, they had to act together.
I got Dame. Dame is by himself, basically doing it.
He did lose a lot.
Yeah, and B's playing crazy right now. Harden's playing crazy right now.
Oh,
and
the Lakers lost the last 2.
You said what?
They're 3-7 in the last. The Lakers lost the last 2 games. They're 3-7 in the last 10.
Yeah.
Oh, lost to Phoenix. Phoenix has been a surprise.
Yes.
That's the team that, even though the Nets came back and beat them without Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant. Brooklyn. So this guy, all right, let's get to the nitty-gritty with your team today, B. This is going to be an argument.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Before we start this segment, Who's your team, Ray?
I can ask that. Yeah, who's your team?
I have no team. I'm a nomad at this point.
So
the Knicks. Oh, I'm sorry.
Who you root for? You don't care?
I used to root for the Knicks. Let's have a small segment, a small Knicks segment here. We're gonna go flashback for a second. You see, I recall when the Knicks had a potential for a championship.
Here you go.
Do you remember Amari and Felton?
Yes.
Then they traded the whole team. Got Melo. Then they got Felton. They got Felton back only because Melo hated on Linsanity. Do you remember this?
I'm glad you know that. Yeah, he definitely Melo hated on Linsanity.
Hated on him, and that's when I stopped being a Carmelo fan. You talked about other man's money, and it was actually a great contract. 5 year, $5 mil, 15 mil. What was wrong with that? You trade him for the last year. That's when I knew they were going to be garbage. They were going nowhere. And then Melo decided that he was going to be hero ball from the entire time on. That really pissed me off. So then they drafted Porzingis. And boy, was I elated. The unicorn. Couldn't believe it. I loved it. And then they messed that up. That trade is only looking good for them because Porzingis is either hurt, he can't recover, or he's just soft as hell.
All three.
Yeah, you might be right about that.
Yep.
So you glad they got rid of him?
At the time, I was pissed. Honestly, I forgot where I was at, but I saw Knicks trade KP. I'm like, nah, niggas didn't do that. They didn't trade KP. Wait. Before I get into that, so you was a Knicks fan up until recent. That happened what 2-3 years ago.
Yes.
So how can you just drop your fandom then? Like
because it was like they didn't get Leon Rose yet, if I'm not mistaken, or Worldwide West.
They came last year.
I want to say it was that same offseason for that draft pick.
No, they came last year.
Was it?
Yeah, they just made their year a couple of days ago.
So then that's what made me go, oh damn. But I'm a man of my word. I don't. James Dolan gotta go. Maybe this is a new James Dolan, but it was just the last straw. How do you not stop getting in the way? Like even right now, that's why I brought these names up. Donnie Walsh had this perfect. That's why I said Pat Riley would have never made that mistake of trading the entire team for Carmelo Anthony if he's available in the offseason. He wants to come here that way. Yeah, he would have known, yo, it's him against this guy, LeBron and D Wade. We're getting one of these guys. So after that, it was just too much for me, bro. It was Dolan being inept, just like with the Mets. I'm hyped up now because I said once the Mets get rid of their ownership, I can be a fan again. And the Mets, so they sold the team in baseball. Maybe I could be a fan now. This guy Steve Cohen is a shiesty dude. I love it. Shiesty Wall Street guy. Gotta rock with him. But Dolan's just a scumbag, and he plays the guitar. I heard it's pretty good, but I can't do it.
But my thing is, you can't see fans these days. You can't just drop your fandom because the team is doing shitty in the ownership. You have to ride through. That's what makes the victory much sweeter. That's one reason I'm rocking out. Like, yo, that's why you got fans outside the garden right now. Like, yo, championship hype because they've been through all this. They've been where you at. They didn't drop it though. You can't just drop your fandom then. Come on. Disappointing me right now.
So what, you never had Say that again. You got muted. You got muted, B. Say that again.
Talk that motherfucking talk, Z.
Allow me. It's the Tuesday talking. Allow me to make a comparison. If you are in a relationship with a young lady and she ain't acting right, and you've been told her, you better switch or I will. And then you make that move, and then you see, hey, they came up. You might start scratching your chin again, and you might reconsider getting back with them. And then now, if they're willing to, we can hold hands. We go to dinner. I'm not saying we're getting married, but we can reconsider. You stepped your game up.
Nah, she should curve you. She should curve you. That's what should happen. She should curve you.
No way. I am the reason. We are the reason. Us fans that have threatened you. This is the highest value franchise in the league. This guy knows he's not losing anything unless we speak up. That's foul. He knows that. No matter what, I'm gonna make my money. So, but he finally changed, and I have to applaud that. Like, I have to give him that credit for him to bring in Leon Rose and develop a public relation and improve the public relationship. That is sweet. So, do I want to just jump on a bandwagon, back on a bandwagon? I don't know. I'm not sure. The Nets are flirting with me.
Oh nah, see, nah, hell no, nah. There's no jumping either to the Knicks or Nets. If you are legit Nets fan or legit Knicks fan, is one or the other. You can't root for that team because it's New York. Nah, it's either like one team or you like the other. Like,
in my heart of hearts, I bleed blue and orange, man. I'm a Mets fan, I'm a Knicks fan, and I'm a Giants fan growing up. My heart of hearts, I bleed blue and orange, and I was liking what I saw from Julius Randle. So I'm gonna watch some more games. I'm definitely rooting for them because I want to see who would it like. We will want to see Manhattan versus Brooklyn. That will be a train ride away, a subway series.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta root for that, especially for the next 2 or 3 years. Whoo!
Yeah, I'd love to see that in the second round. Knicks should avoid them by any means necessary in the first round. Do not see the Nets in the first round. Knicks need to avoid them. Yeah, exactly.
Why?
Because
they get clean.
They have three of the best.
That's why.
They have three of the best scorers in the league, and the Knicks, they can't keep up with that kind of pace. They can play defense. The score may be 105 to probably 95, but the Nets are gonna win.
Yeah,
and they have three score. I mean, they have three closes. Knicks, the Knicks may win one, maybe two games, but I think honestly the Knicks should avoid the Nets. And they should avoid the Sixers and maybe the Heat. Everybody else is barbecue chicken. Like, I don't mind seeing anybody else, but the Nets, nah, they should avoid them. And you lose some games just to fall back from them, or win. Make sure you win some games to get ahead so you don't see them.
Yo, listen. I mean, if the playoffs started today, it'd be Knicks in Boston.
Right, I don't mind that.
Yo, I don't know. Listen, you don't?
Mm-mm.
Who you think will win that series?
Damel be
Boston
tight.
looking. Yo, Boston is. I know. Listen, Boston. I don't know, man. I don't trust them. I don't trust them being a fourth seed right now. They're on the fall too. They did win 4 in a row, but still, man, they were looking bad for a little second, man. I don't know. They're shaky. Boston is shaky. I can see the defense of the Knicks really messing with them.
Mm-hmm.
If the playoffs started today, like that'd be a very interesting series.
That series will go down to probably 6 or 7, and it depends who. I don't know, 6 or 7. Knicks already beat them by I think like 30th season. But once Marcus Smart get back, they're gonna get back on track. I'm not scared of Boston because I'm just not scared of Boston. Like I said, the Knicks should avoid the Nets, the Sixers, and possibly the Heat. Everybody else is up for grabs. Even the Bucks. I'm not the Bucks. Everybody know once the Bucks get into playoffs, Giannis can't hit he can't hit a shot to save his life.
Shaky.
Yeah, right. That's a fact.
They were shaky. They looked bad last year. Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
Bad.
Well, the Drew Holiday.
What?
The Drew Holiday acquisition is big for them, even though they should have. It was big for them. They need a point guard. They still need that point guard. I think Giannis, he gets shot down a lot now. You can't expect him to be Embiid. You can't expect him to be that's why they compare him to Shaq. I don't want to see him shoot jumpers. Yo, stay in your lane, man. That's not your game, is to go outside. The offense should be run through Middleton. That's the problem. He's your number one now, even though I think he's a good number 2 or great number 3. The problem is you got to give that ball to Middleton and let Drew Holiday and Middleton run that offense. Giannis is taking way too many shots, thinking he's a guard and falling into. Nah, play your game, bro. Get a grab an offensive rebound. Don't go out. He's going out of his way and he's going out of the Bucks' way to try to prove that he can shoot jumpers.
You know what? I think I don't know, man. I mean, he's playing to the era. He's playing in the climate. I mean, a guy of his size in this league, as is, he's doing what every other big is doing. None of these dudes really play the center role like they used to anymore. They don't really go to the middle. I don't know. I still think he's the number one. I don't think Middleton is the number one, bro. You really believe that he should be the number one? Like,
what offense are you running around Giannis? Well, you don't swim.
That nigga's being paid $250 million. He better be the number one. he's the number one.
But he's not a number one. He's not. It's just not back in the day like with Shaq and you got the big man who can.
He needs to. It's his fault. He needs to work on his game. He needs to be able to at least knock down consistent mid range. At least knock down mid range, and he can't do that.
Right. If you're the coach, right. But when you're the coach and you see that he can't do it, why would you run any plays for him? He should be picking and rolling, and that's it. It doesn't make sense. And you're right. He should be the new Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Stop trying to be Shaq and stop trying to be Dirk or whoever. Don't shoot anything outside of the mid range. He would be the perfect Kareem. You're in Milwaukee, and you can that his hand is like hitting the top of the stadium every time he shoots. Do a sky hook, bro. But anything other than that, can we get to the real question at hand here, B? Our argument from earlier. How dare you?
Let's get into it.
We talked about Boston. We talked about Milwaukee.
Come on.
Z, what do you think about this guy? The red Brillo pad himself. What do you think of this?
I got for this. Let's go. Go ahead. Let's get into
it. For anybody or just in general?
White Velvet. What do you think of White Velvet on the Nets? On any team? Where does he fit? What is he gonna do?
Wait, hold on. They call him White Velvet? Or you call him White Velvet?
They better not call that nigga White Velvet. They better not call him White Velvet. They don't call him White Velvet. They don't. No, I don't believe it. They don't. No.
No, listen. Put in Perspective podcast sponsored by Duce. That's how I'm feeling right now. Go ahead.
Your man is Liddy City. We are not spot. Yo, I'm censoring that. Enough of this Brooklyn Jay-Z talk. Jesus. Anyway, Z, where are you in agreement with this character about him going to the Nets? What is he gonna do?
He's gonna Nets. My thing is with Blake. Okay, I'm gonna start with. I watched him play. Not that many, probably like 2 or 3 games possibly this season. It hurts my eye. I tweeted this. It hurts my eyes watching him play because he can't get to the basket. When he shoots, it looks mechanical and nobody respects it for real. He may knock it down, but it looks mechanical. He can pass, but for the Nets, I don't think they need him. He can't play defense, and that's only him. I don't know who needs Blake Griffin. Maybe the Lakers, possibly, or Clippers. I don't know who needs Blake.
So why would the Lakers need him?
Because they need somebody to help him on offense right now off the bench.
Don't let him box you in.
No, he's not.
No. He said he did not.
Yo, look. I'm just asking the questions as they are. It could have been you saying that. I'm not trying to box nobody in. I just want to know.
That's cool. I'm not a big fan from the beginning. Honestly, I was never a big fan of Blake Griffin's game because he is all athleticism. Once that went away, which is now, what is he? He's been taking like 10 threes a game and knocking down 2 of them. I don't know the percentage. I'm exaggerating, but he's useless in Detroit. That's why they getting rid of him. I don't know who needs this guy. I could be a team in the playoffs may use him. He may put up 20 and 10. I may look stupid, but I don't see who can use this guy right now. I don't know. I don't think the Nets need him. Nets need PJ Tucker.
Yes.
I hope they don't get him, but
all for I'll take PJ Tucker before Blake all day. But
yeah,
is that going to happen? We don't know.
He's only 9 million. He's making 9 million this year. PJ Tucker. That's it.
Yeah.
PJ Tucker is he's a throwback player to me. Like hard nosed, lunch pail. He would have fit easily on a team like the Knicks in the 90s. Easily. Like he's just hard working, man. He can shoot a three from the corner, gives you great defense, can rebound, and he's small. He's like I'm not saying he's Barkley, but he's like that small guard forward. Like
you know what you're getting from him.
I love everything PJ. Yeah, you know exactly what you're getting. Yep.
Exactly. And I don't think I could come up with a better quote than Z got the quote of the night. He's useless in Detroit. You can't get worse than that.
Yeah.
What useless in Detroit? And this is the guy. This is the guy you want coming to the Brooklyn Nets, B?
Listen, all right, hold on. Let me speak my piece. And we had this. Me and Ray had this discussion yesterday about this. I'm aware of everything that was stated just now. I always hated the way he shot. That shit looks weird as hell. It does look mechanical. So Z, you're right on that. But in this offense, the way it's constructed, he ain't gotta shoot 3-pointers. How's that noise?
That's my AC. I'm right in front of my fault. I need to turn it off. Hold on, give me a second.
What the hell is that?
You want to say my fault?
Yeah, nah, you good, bro. Yo,
at this
as is, he doesn't have to shoot 3-point shots like he's doing, taking 10 3-point shots, looking crazy out there from 3-point land. Bro, if he has an ounce of athleticism still in him, he can flourish in this offense. Just stand there, move around, grab a rebound, get a lob. I'm quite sure. I know he hasn't dunked in like 2 years, right? That's what they said. I'm quite sure he's getting a lob from James Harden, and he's gonna put that shit in the hole. But I don't see why you don't get him just because off the strength of his possible athleticism. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why the Nets are trying to get him. The Lakers are trying to get him. Even the Knicks. Yeah, the Knicks, Z. David, that's been the talk too. Miami as well. All these teams are in the talks. Yes. I'm not saying, hey, listen.
I know. I believe you.
That talk is going on. Because, it's the possibility, all right, what this guy can do on a team that is a contender. Detroit sucks. They suck. So his mentality is like, yo, fuck this team. I'm probably like, I want to get out of here. If I go to a contender, I'm taking steroids, and you're going to see me jumping over here again. Like it's the dunk contest. And, yo, with this offense, with the big three in Brooklyn, with James Harden passing you lobs, DeAndre Jordan looks good. You don't think they can make Blake Griffin look good? Come on, son. He's another body. I'm not saying he plays the best defense, but yo, why not? Why not? Why not?
He couldn't play defense with two good knees. the only thing he got going. Pause. The only thing he had going for him was Sean Marks. The fact that Sean Marks is pursuing him. Sean Marks' credibility at this point, we got to give him his props. And Kevin Durant played in a tournament or whatever in the summertime with him, pause. And that can lead you to believe, okay, maybe there's something there. I don't see it. 31% from three this year.
Yeah.
You don't have to shoot threes.
That's his game now.
What is he going to do?
Catch a lob.
Yeah.
Catch a fucking lob. Your body.
Y'all don't need. Yeah. My thing is, he's going to end up on the Nets. I know he is. But the Nets do not need Blake Griffin. He's going to play well there because James Harden's going to make him look like an all-star again. But the Nets, they need smaller pieces. Someone like PJ Tucker, like I said, or somebody, even I'm trying to think. Somebody, I can't think who else off the top of my head right now. But Blake, nah, he's not it. He ain't it. But he's gonna end up there. I know he is, because he's chasing the ring, and he's gonna end up there and get one. I think no, they're not winning the ring. What am I saying? They're not winning the ring.
They're winning the ring.
It's already in your head. That's rent free in the Knicks head. I already know.
You know what convinced me? The West Coast run.
What?
Go ahead, because it sounds out when me and you talk.
No, go ahead. No, I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
What convinced me was the Nets West Coast trip, bro. They swept the West Coast trip without KD. There was the Phoenix game without Kyrie when James Harden went off in the second half, and then they're playing this well without Durant, and everyone kept talking about the offensive rebounding and the defense is down the third. What Durant's gonna do if you have that small ball lineup with Bruce Brown? What's gonna happen when Durant is the 5 and they have a small ball lineup and they're in sync? It's just inevitable. I don't see who on the West Coast could even beat them, to be honest with you. They spanked everybody. Utah, Philly just, and I think if Philly doesn't have a change, like what you were saying, if they don't get, I think they're going after PJ Tucker and if they don't, I said it before, they're gonna get swept or 5 games, and Embiid is gonna smack Ben Simmons on national television after the post and after the fourth quarter.
The Sixers should make sure they should get both PJ and Lowry. If they don't get either one or either both, the Nets gonna make it to the finals. But the only way Nets is gonna win the finals, I think, if the Lakers aren't healthy. If AD isn't there, it's a wrap. Nets gonna win, and it's gonna be a boring ass parade. Nobody's gonna care about that, but they're gonna win.
If AD is there, they're gonna cross over AD. He's gonna tear his other ACL. He better check.
What, B? What?
B, I had no more sneaky banners, B.
I'm listening. I'm just observing right now. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. It's a Duce right now. It's hit me. So go ahead, keep talking.
You guys, you did mention the All-Star game and how different it is.
Yes.
Did you want to say anything about that, B?
Yes. Tomorrow, man, it's the first time we'll ever see. I mean, due to COVID, it's the first time we'll see the All-Star game have All-Star weekend basically in one day. Got the skills challenge, 3-point shootout, and the dunk contest. You have the skills challenge, I believe, first, and 3-point shootout before the game, and then at halftime you have the dunk contest. And I think they have the world and what is it? Not the rookie game. This is the
world in US. They're not playing that.
They're not. They canceled. Okay, but
yeah, they just list the team. Yeah.
Yo, they might even if things go back to normal, depending how tomorrow turns out. I don't see why they wouldn't do something like this ongoing, because it just draws attention to the whole day. You're tuned in for the whole day. You're watching 3-point shootout. They have a lot of outside of the dunk contest, because the dunk contest is really nobody I know. I mean, I got a list of the players. I got everybody lined up, but the skills challenge and the 3-point shootout look promising. Even though Devin Booker, he's going to be out, he got replaced by Mike Conley.
Yeah,
but looking forward to that, man. It's going to be. And I know they're doing the All-Star weekend at first. I know me and Ray, we spoke about it maybe a few episodes before, but the fact that they're doing it for historical Black colleges, and Z, I know you went to a historical Black college.
Yes, sir.
This benefits Black, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like this, they doing it for a good cause. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow, man. It's gonna be dope. What do y'all think?
I think. Well, first I'll say I went to Lincoln University, the first HBCU. I'm gonna say that, put that out there.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Lincoln University in Pennsylvania. Yep, the first HBCU.
Okay.
The All-Star Day, I think it'll be decent. I don't see them moving forward with this just because the NBA needs their money and their revenue. So they're gonna want their whole weekend extravaganza or everything that comes with that. I just hope everybody be safe out there because Sandler says that they don't have nothing planned, but I keep seeing 5 different flyers going 5 different flyers for every day that's happening right now. I see Quavo have a flyer. I see Gucci Man has a flyer for tomorrow. It's mad different flyers for different parties. I think it should be entertaining. I hope it's entertaining at least. Hope so.
I was gonna say I have no care in the world for this game. But until you mentioned the HBCU thing, that's ill. There's no way that nobody's going out. You can't. How can you stop LeBron from doing what he wants to do? I can't see that happening. He's going to tell everyone to put their phones away. He's been following the same protocol for 20 years that we know him in the league. You can't go to a LeBron party and have your phone out. You've never seen a photo at a LeBron party ever. There's a reason for that. And they're in Atlanta, right?
Yep. And there's a reason why they're out there. Yep.
And Drake has a lemon pepper song that came out last night, right? And then the club playing a new Drake song. Come on. These are all recipes for twerking and working and getting it popping.
It's crazy out there right now, most likely.
Yeah, and Atlanta's been in COVID, so they didn't care about COVID. They voted.
Clearly.
They voted, and they also voted. So yeah, I'm not interested in the game like that. Dunk contest, it's done with for me. I can't. 3-point contest.
So Z, you got your boy Obi Toppin in the dunk contest though.
Yes, sir. He's
representing.
He's taking that. Yeah, Brooklyn Rays.
Hey, Julius
Randle. I'll say.
Look at that. And then Julius Randle's in the skills challenge.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's gonna be Obi gonna win the dunk contest. Julius gonna win the skills. Julius gonna win MVP for the All-Star game. Light work. Something light.
That might be the only reason why I watch it is to see Julius Randle, how he plays with other All-Stars. And that's always a thing.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, when Randle comes, when a star player like that, that's what happened with I just seen Deron Williams was talking about like Jerry Sloan was trying to fight Jerry Stackhouse. He was trying to fight. He told people I got an ice pick in the car if you want to come see me. Jerry Sloan apparently was a gangster, but he also Deron Williams was saying that after he came back from the All-Star game, he said, he was trying to recruit everyone, but they were like, ain't nobody going to Utah, dog. And then you see what LeBron said the other day. He's like, you see with the video games, we didn't even pick Utah in a video game.
Right. That's a fact, though.
So those kind of experiences, you get them at the All-Star game aside from the Olympics. So to see Julius Randle go there and then experience, he played with Kobe before, but now he's also going to have the modern era, gain the respect from them, gain some intel, and then come back and then may gain another level of confidence. So I'm excited about the second half of the season for the Knicks. Might watch some more just because of that, especially the first half of the second half of the season.
All right, so are you a Knicks fan now, or are you just waiting until you get good and then you're gonna be like, all right, I'm a Knicks fan for sure? You can't wait until they like 10 games off behind him. Like, all right, I'm rocking with them now.
I'm gonna have to rock with them because I can't. I've been trying to drive the Brooklyn.
Please do, because this podcast is gonna go on fire if you do that. If the Knicks do that, but I don't think the Knicks gonna do that. Go ahead.
You don't want me. Listen, I'm coming out swinging. Once they got the right people in play, like I can't front on them, and especially I want to see the offseason. I mean, Z put me on the spot, so I'm thinking about getting back with my girl, man. Knicks tape.
The girl don't want you. She don't want you. She's seeing you. The girl in Brooklyn. She like, nah, dog. You can't come back.
Listen, man. I'm a Queens dude, man. That's what we do. I'm here in the city. I live in the city. You crazy? I live 8 blocks away. Come on, man. Anyway, you put me on the spot, Z-Mac.
SQ. SQN.
Yeah. Sequence. You put me on the spot, Mac.
You a sequence.
You put me on the spot, Mac. I'm gonna have to jump back on the blue and orange, man. I can't stand this black. Come on, man. Where's my round of applause?
All right, so starting today, you're officially a Knicks fan today. Starting today.
I'm officially a Knicks fan, baby. We got the. You see the Knicks fan up. You see the logo. We're in the building. We're in the building. See the Knicks fan. See how it goes, right? How does it go? It's a triangle. It's a square. It's a diamond. The real diamond. It ain't in BK, dog. 34th and 7th. You know what time it is, B. It's over. Defense. That's what wins games.
All right, cool. Wait, what?
Yo, what just happened? Yo, wait till he hears that. Yo, Z, wait till you heard that, right?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
That was on purpose?
Yeah, it was purposely done.
Oh, I thought the mic went out on you. Anyway, so
I know he did that on purpose.
So Z put me on the spot. I'm back.
Okay.
It's Knicks take, baby.
I'm telling you now, the second half schedule is crazy. Like I won't be surprised if they lose the first 5 games because the second half schedule is crazy. Yeah. So I don't want to hear you say, I'm not sure anymore. No. You got ride through these losses and these wins.
Again, I was hyped when I didn't like the way they got Carmelo, but the way that they've dressed the team up right now, it's the same way that the Nets did it. I was hyped off that.
Yeah, that's the fact they did. So they follow the Nets blueprint. Yeah, I give them that.
I don't say Nets blueprint. I just think they're being smart.
You put the battery in Ray's back now. You got Ray charged up. He's back with the orange and blue, man.
Orange and blue.
I see it. I already see it. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun, man.
I hate saying anything good about the Nets because my closest friends and my brother are Nets fans. Like I'm built the way I'm built from. I'm cut from different cloth. Like if you are part of our division, I hate you and your team. I will never say anything good about your team or about you. As far like ask Gritty, ask B, Damel, my other brother. He's a Boston fan randomly. I can't say anything good about Celtics either.
Yes. Let's talk about this. Our brother is a fucking Boston fan, bro. No. I don't care anything about Boston. Celtics, the Patriots.
Because of Paul Pierce.
The Penguins.
Paul Pierce.
You watch, random. I don't understand it. I still don't.
How does he play basketball? Does he play ball?
Yeah, he plays ball.
Does he play similar to like Paul Pierce style, like awkward style?
The crazy thing is he does. He plays just like Paul Pierce. Yeah. He plays just like Paul Pierce.
Yes, I noticed that those are the biggest fans of Paul Pierce, and then they became I got 2 friends like that, and one of them was nice. My man Rob, he was nice in ball, but he like certain people that like because Paul Pierce was nice.
Yeah, people from Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce was nice when he first got into the league. The first couple years, Paul Pierce was nice.
He was always nice to me. He was always a problem, especially for the Knicks.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah, so I can't wait to see. That's why I said I don't mind seeing the Nets in the first round. We're supposed to lose. We got nothing to lose.
They don't. Playing house money.
Yeah, let the kids get experience, man. That's what you want.
The Knicks, they're playing well enough. I see the Nets. I see the Knicks being better than Boston. I see them taking over that 4th seed. So they wouldn't even play the Nets in the first round. They'll be playing someone like maybe Boston, or maybe possibly Charlotte, or maybe Miami. You don't want to see Miami. Want to see Miami. Don't. That's a nightmare. Miami's going to be the wild card.
They're going to be.
You
got it right.
No, the seed, the 5 through 8 seeds are separated by one game, one loss, and one game in the loss column. So that's the thing. They're all pretty much even. So it is what it is. They're playing, like you said, they're playing with house money. The Pacers aren't even that good. They're waiting for the kid LeVert to come back from the injury. The Knicks aren't waiting for anyone. They're just slowly building. That's what you want. The Celtics, we would love nothing more than to play the Celtics, play with house money, and beat the Celtics. That would be great. And
my thing with the
confidence
with the Celtics,
what I said.
The Celtics are missing Marcus Smart, and that's their heart. Once Marcus Smart gets back, they're gonna go on a nice little run. The Pacers may get back on track once. I can't say once LeVert get back because he never played LeVert, but LeVert he can give him a couple games. The Knicks, the only down part about them right now, their defense may carry over, but their second half schedule is crazy. Like the NBA hates the Knicks the way they gave them the schedule. I think their first 3 or 4 opponents out the break is away against playoff teams. It's like against the Nets, against Milwaukee, against well, not Thunder, but they lost against Thunder already. And it's like then they have at the end of the season, they have a 6-game road trip, a 6-game West Coast road trip against playoff teams. So if the Knicks make the playoffs and the top five, they're gonna earn it.
Yo, listen. You want me to give you that schedule?
Yeah, go ahead.
Listen, the schedule, bro. First game crazy, after All-Star break, they play Milwaukee at Milwaukee. Second game at OKC. I could see them winning that game. Then they come back to Brooklyn. They play BK. That I was trying to get tickets for that game. They still got tickets, but they had nosebleed seats. But anyway, and then after they play Brooklyn, the day after they play Brooklyn, they play the Sixers. And then they go back to the Garden. They play Orlando. I can see them winning there. But then after that, a few days later, you got to play the Sixers again. And then you play Washington for that back-to-back. You play them two games in a row at the Garden. I could toss-up games. I can see the Knicks winning those.
They may win
Milwaukee, Miami.
Yeah, see?
Damn.
Like coming out the break is crazy. Yeah, that's why they had to win this Detroit game. The one they just won. They had to win that game.
Exactly. And when those games like that, that's again going back to the Nets. When they won the games they were supposed to win, that's what gave me confidence in them. Like, all right, when you're a good team, you beat the team you're supposed to and you kill them. Like Sacramento, they destroyed them. So with the Nets, the Knicks, we expect them to lose against the Phillies of the world and the Nets. But these are a test. That's a test for Julius Randle. Like I want to see what Julius Randle does in that position when you don't have anyone on the offense. Because guess what? That's what's gonna happen during these spurts. When you are good, the team's gonna rely on you because you are the best offensive player that they have right now. I want to see that. That's what we're gonna see what they're made of. Especially Julius. I want to see him show his skill set. When Mitchell Robinson comes back, maybe we'll see something else. But I love this. This gets me. I'm really hyped up because the Nets already had their little run on the West Coast and they proved themselves. Now it's the Knicks' turn.
But the Knicks is different from the Nets because the Nets have 3 superstars compared to the Knicks with 1. I can't call Julius Randle barely an all-star. I'll say an all-star. He doesn't have a secondary player right now. RJ, he's gonna be that one day, but the way their offense is terrible. Like, it's terrible. If they're not randomly hitting threes in the game, they're gonna have to rely heavily on their defense. And then the way the league is set up, every team is attempting a good 30 or 40 threes a game. The Knicks are barely. I think the Knicks are like the bottom 5 in attempts a game in threes. The percentage is up, but the attempts are down. I think they're attempting probably like 20 threes a game. Every other team is attempting 30 or 40 threes a game, and they can't keep up with that kind of pace. And once the playoffs start, matter of fact, I'm not even talking about the playoffs right now. Like, they have to keep this pace up going into the playoffs right now because it's going to be hard for them. That's why they're gonna have to make some kind of move for a secondary scorer off the bench or into offense this deadline, like Terrence Ross or a Justin Holiday, who else? I said, can't think of someone else. I said, yeah, those two, like players like that. That's what you need. Somebody who will defend and shoot threes. Because the plays they have right now, they line up aren't knocking down the clip that they need.
Two guys that they talk about all the time. One is obvious because this guy Tibbs coached him was Karl-Anthony Towns. What do you think about him?
I like Cat, but he's not coming up there. I don't see it happening. Like I don't see the point of the T-Wolves trading him, because I say worst / best case scenario for them, they lose out the rest of the season. They end up in the top 3, which they get to keep their pick. If they fall the top 3, that pick goes to Warriors. So if they end up 4, the Warriors get the top 5 pick in the top 5 pick and a deep draft. So if the Wolves end up with the top 3 pick, they could put somebody like, I'll say, a Cade Cunningham or a Jalen Suggs next to Cat and next to D'Lo, and that'll be perfect. And they can build off that. I don't see a point of them trading Karl-Anthony Towns right now. Just keep building. Like they having an off year because they was hit by COVID, they was hit by injuries. They trash right now, but they was hit by a lot of stuff, and they just fired their coach. If they end up trading Karl-Anthony Towns to us, I hope for something small, like probably, I can't say small, like Mitchell Robinson, but Mitchell Robinson maybe, but I don't see him trading him. Like those are pipe dreams, I think. If I'm management for T-Wolves, I wouldn't trade him. I'll just keep building. Like I say, I'll think in my head, we're gonna keep losing, be trash anyway, and we can put a great player in this draft next to already great players. And next year we can keep going with that because they play very young.
My thing is, I sense that he's kind of frustrated there. Does he even want to stay in Minnesota? Like you think he wants?
I think so, because
stay there, or he wants to go.
I think he wants to stay because they just traded for his best friend. That's, I don't know, call it their best friend as far as D'Angelo Russell. They just traded for him last year, and I read a stat. I think him and D'Angelo Russell probably played a good, I think, less than 15 games together since they made that trade. So that's why it was unfair that they fired the coach. So once they actually get going or actually get healthy, they may work something. They may actually start building towards something. I say keep it going. Like they're not even close to being there for them to even start blowing it up. Yeah, players are still young. They're younger than 25 years old, or they're 25 and younger. So keep it going. Might as well.
Yeah.
I don't like the way Karl-Anthony Towns moves. I think the older he's getting, and he's only like what 4 or 5 years in the league. He looks.
I think he's not in shape. He had COVID.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe it's that, but I don't like the way it's almost like Greg Oden.
Also, it's tragedy he faced too, man. Like,
yep,
it's family, man. Like he went through a lot.
Well, I will understand, mentally if you didn't have confidence, but I'm saying physically, the way he runs, it looks weird. It looks like it's almost like he's struggling. Yeah, it was like that with Greg Oden too, and I forgot who else. And also, I don't like the fact that Kevin Love thing. Kevin Love ain't all that. He was doing 30-30s, 30 rebounds, 30 points, but that was for a losing effort. And then you saw on Cleveland, I don't think Kevin Love was that big of a deal on Cleveland. They could have done better with somebody else. I liked his outlet passes and shit like that, but what is Karl-Anthony Towns really doing for you to be a big man? And he is that talented, and you're not a winning team or at least a 500 team. That's telling, man. KG had a bunch of bums around him, but he was never a loser. I mean, they always were a perennial playoff team, and you saw in Boston what that defense was made of. But I don't like that from seeing a potential superstar. Now, you can't get paid like one, just like you said about Siakam. Yo, you come over here, you be secondary, third. You'll be a complimentary player, especially around Randall. He can throw that alley. You open up the game for him. And he shoots the three. That's the thing about Towns, he rebounds and he shoots that three. So that's great. But that amount of money, that's tough to take on. The other player I wanted to bring up was Dame Lillard. They flirt with that guy coming to New York all the time. I think we all love Dame Lillard. Would you want to see him though on the Knicks?
Hell yeah, but that's not happening. Dame made it clear like Dame is, like I said, Dame's cut from different cloth too. Like he's not leave. He don't want to chase a bigger market or chase a ring. So he'd rather players come to him and he recruit them, and he wants to get done in Portland, which makes sense because I think Portland, what they should do is go after like a Vucevic from Orlando. It'll be perfect next to him. But I don't see no. Dame just sounded like a supermax probably like a year or two ago. He's locked into his deal. He's not coming to the Knicks.
Yeah. He's not leaving Portland.
That's a pipe dream. Yeah, nah.
Okay.
He's like a throwback player to like that old era of just like, I'm staying with this team.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm built whatever pieces. Yeah, we're gonna build around that. We're gonna win here. He's anti big three, I'm going here to join up with so and so. Like he's adamant about that. Like he's very open about that. Even recently, up until this week, he spoke on. You know what I'm saying? So I love Dame. I love everything about him, bro. That's one of my favorite players in the league. He's been one of my favorite players since he came into the league. And yeah, I hope he stays in Portland, man. Portland,
me too. I do
Oregon,
too.
Yeah, that whole area, they need a team like Portland. And I wish Seattle, Washington would get like the Supersonics back. That would be dope. If I heard Ray Allen's trying to make that happen. But just that whole area of America, they need a team like that, or they need someone that can lead a team they can lean on like that, like the Seahawks, or the Portland Trailblazers. So yeah, man, I love Dame, man.
Yeah, that's why I always I can't say secretly, like I root for Portland because, like I said, Dame, like you said, Dame is from a different era. His mindset, he wants to do it in Portland because it'll feel a lot sweeter in Portland, wherever he does. So at management is smart. They'll go off a player like a Vucevic and trade somebody like a pick on a couple players for him because that's a 25 and 10 player right there to put next to Dame and CJ. That'll be good. They need players like that.
I don't know how Portland could really be helped. Besides, I don't know what else they need. Vucevic would help, but you do want to see Dame. It was the same thing with Kevin Garnett. You just want to see a guy like that in the championship, because it was going back to when we won the 5B podcast, B, and it's like after a while you can notice that Kobe and KG, maybe Duncan, but at least with Kobe and KG, you can see they're the only ones that give a fuck out here. And Dame is like that. And I mean, the NBA is different than 20 years ago. I mean, it seems like way more players care. They have way more pride now. Yeah. That's visible. But Dame especially. Dame shows it. Even Westbrook in a sense. That's why we love Westbrook. That's why we hate the fact that he's plays at a low IQ. But damn, if we don't want you, we want to see you win the championship, bro. Because we like when we watch the game, we think we're you. That's how we would think we were on. So Dame just all that showing off, Dame time, and the way he's, even Steph, he gets a little carried away, and he was bitching and moaning last week, and I didn't appreciate him. He felt the social media wrath. But even all that showing off shit, like it's fun. At the end of the day, it's sports. Like it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be. We're not all Tim Duncan. Like we don't want to play like that. We want to be entertained. No disrespect to.
Nah, I get you.
Yo, listen. The fact that you brought up Steph, Steph is. We gotta give Steph credit this year, man, because the first few games, everyone was writing about. Yeah, hell yeah. Yo, bro.
For what?
Steph balling, man. For what?
He's balling. He's balling.
Yo, listen. Listen. What? Those first few games this year, a lot of people, media was writing him like, yo, this dude can't do shit without Clay. Yo, I mean, look at their position. They have a fighting
Top
chance
10, right?
to get in the play.
Yeah.
But yo, man, Steph's been balling this year, man. He dropped a 62-point game. Like he reminded people because he was hurt. He reminded people like, all right, this is why I got those MVPs. Like, this is why, I do what I do. This is why the game changed. This is why your favorite player is shooting threes now. Shooting from the logo. LeBron. Dame.
Logo LeBron.
That, you know what I'm saying? Like, but logo LeBron. Steph. Like, Steph is balling this shit, man. I just want to give him a shout out on him, man. He doing his thing. But Dame is my dude. Dame Dollar.
Yeah.
Dame time, baby.
Don't play both sides, B. You want to get him, Z, or should I get him?
Nah, get him. Yeah, he kind of playing both sides. Get him. You got him.
No. It's not about playing. I'm a Nets fan. Fuck all that shit. We're talking about players now. Individual players. Dame is my dude. But let's give Steph his props.
The Knicks are in the background right now, first of all. The Knicks are in the background right now.
Who gives a fuck? No,
second of all.
We can't even see the Knicks logo. We can't even see it. I mean, I don't see it. When the Nets logo's up there, it's there. It's on the side. You see it right here. You see it right here. I don't see no Knicks shirt on you. I don't see a Knicks shirt on my brother. Stop it. My brother's hat is black and white. It's a paper plays.
You lucky I don't get my Knicks hat right now. I should get my Knicks hat right now. You lucky.
So
I don't like getting up right now.
You look at I'll get my foot.
Go ahead.
So the reason why you don't even realize you just became a hypocrite in real time is because Dame and Steph are rivals. So the whole point of this year is that wait a minute, Steph is doing. You had your time. You had your couple seconds of leisure. Dame and playing great. Steph is playing great, probably as the best he can play, and the Warriors are basically garbage. Dame Lillard, this is not even the best he's ever played, and they're in the mix. Not 8th seed, not 7th seed, not 6th seed. They're like 4th or 3rd seed, and he's missing McCollum. He's missing his Robin. He's missing Nurkic, right?
And he broke his wrist.
So to say that Steph is missing Clay or whatever it is, yeah, we want to see what you want to do, Steph. We want to see that. That's right. This is sports, baby. Dame Lillard is coming out. It is Dame time, my man. That's why I've been rooting for Dame for that. I like Steph, don't get me wrong. He is the best shooter of all time. But when it comes down to it, he is a different player in the playoffs. And yes, Dame, you can say the same about Dame, but Dame did not have the luxury of having that organization. Nurkic was hurt the year before also. So there was a lot of criticism about Dame before this year. And it's funny that he's in 3rd or 4th place and he has that rivalry with Steph and he's outshining him when your boy is back and Clay's on the bench. Now what you going to do, Steph? Nothing, B. And then
hold on, wait a minute. Go ahead, keep going.
I thought that was over with because you try to play both sides. Like, but I'm a Dame fan.
It's not over. It's not over. It's not over though. Wait, how many points did Steph drop on Dame earlier this year? Who has the highest scoring game this year?
So what?
Against what team?
So I hope he won.
Dame. They did win. Dame had to give props. And you know what he said after the game? After Steph dropped that 62? Yo, I got to give respect when respect is due. At the end of the game, at half court, first play Dame goes up to was Steph. He had to show that love. They have a common respect for each other because they're kind of similar, and the comparisons came there because last year Dame was doing this thing, got pulled into playoffs. Dame is my guy. I like him over Steph. Steph is a better player, but I prefer Dame Dollar. But listen,
Z.
The respect.
Dame put up 64.
The respect is there, bro.
Well, that's not what.
Definitely, but not against Golden State. What are you saying?
You can't. You got to choose a side.
What are you saying?
Went from saying yo, they were shitting on Steph early on, and that deservedly so. If you're supposed to be that good, if you're
why?
Because
he's averaging, bro. He's in the top 5 in scoring. They're in contention. Right? They're only a half game back of 8th place. They're right there. It's the West Coast. Come on, son. Like, no one expected Golden State to do good without Clay. They're in 5th place. Portland's in 5th.
Yes, exactly. We did Golden State. Yes.
I expect them to be in the playoffs at least.
Where did you have them go? What did you have them though, Ray? What did you have?
Where Portland is.
Oh, I have them that high.
Hell no.
I had
Golden State?
I had Golden State probably 7 through 10 this year.
Okay.
And that's why I had them.
And Draymond's not the same. Draymond's even worse than before. His shooting is worse.
He's an X factor, but I would trade him for somebody decent. But then again, you trade your heart and soul.
Yeah, he's having a bad season.
Who's taking on
his worst season?
Yeah.
Who wants
trade Draymond until I get Clay back though.
Who is taking on Draymond Green?
Nobody.
They have no suitors.
Yeah, No, I can't think about it right top of my head.
Nah, I just can't. It doesn't make sense.
No, Golden State is only a half game back. They're only a half game back of your Dallas. Oh wait, Z, he loves Dallas.
No, we need Dallas to fail. All negative energy to Dallas right now. I don't need no positive energy for Dallas. You got that pick.
I was trying to root for them because they traded KP over there, but can't do it. I couldn't do it because it's like Mark Cuban's trying to create the new Ku Klux Klan on the Mavericks. Like he's blatantly trying to get every great white player that there is. And it's just like I love Luka, but he's another ball. He was the ball 35 times, man.
I think everybody loves Luka, but as a Knicks fan, I need them to lose because we got that pick. I need all losses, all negative energy for Dallas. I need them to lose every game.
Is it protected?
Nah, I'm protected. This pick.
Oh wow!
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why a lot of Knicks fans are saying that the Knicks possibly won this trade because the Dallas Mavericks aren't doing as good as people projected them to do. They're projected to be like a top five team this year, but the fact that they're teetering on the playoffs and possibly out the playoffs, the Knicks may get a lottery pick on top of maybe theirs if they don't make the playoffs. So it'll be 2 lottery picks in a deep draft. And his draft is tight. His draft is a deep draft. Yep. The lottery pick that's protected for them is 2023. That's like top 10 protected or some shit.
You need a little luck sometimes, man.
Yeah. So I need all negative vibes for Dallas.
I'm getting my Santeria stuff ready. We're gonna start sacrificing some goats. Luka's about to get injured. He'll be back next season, but he'll get injured.
Yeah, KP still hasn't been back to form. He stayed injured.
I saw it when Cleveland came to town, when LeBron was there and they took the train. They were on the 6th train or whatever it was. And they came, they were just like all, elated. And then they came to the Garden and they punked Porzingis.
Yeah.
That's when I saw. I was like, it was the last straw for me. Like in terms of, you gotta hit the weight room, bro. And then the whole thing happened with the injury, and his brother was supposed to be an agent.
That was like 2 years ago. How you leave 2 years ago? That just happened.
Because because even though they might get lucky, I think we're going back to the same because they might get lucky with the trade. At the end of the day, you don't just trade a dude. What was it for? It wasn't for a draft pick, right? It was for
they traded KP for they traded KP, Courtney Lee, let's see, Tim Hardaway Jr. Trey Burke for the Dallas 2021 unprotected pick, 2023 protected pick, Dennis Smith Jr., and I might be missing something like that. But it was mainly for the picks, yeah.
But they were
for cap space, basically.
The cap space, and they were already in the lottery. So they were that, like, it didn't matter to me. Like, it didn't make sense to me. It was a trade that did not make sense. You didn't have to re-sign Porzingis. You could have traded him the next year for a better trade. To me, it was just a bad trade.
Mm-hmm.
The next year he was going to be on his last year in the contract. You would have gotten a better deal, and you would have had Leon Rose coming in with that scenario. I'd rather that. Like, if you knew you were in talks to get a new general manager and you pulled that off, it was dumb, and it was Dolan again. You know what I'm saying? It's that's what it was. But I'm back. Stop bringing up old shit, Z.
All right, matter of fact, you got it. Since you're back right now, we'll see. I don't know. I gotta ask Knicks Nation. I'm not sure how we feel about you jumping back onto the bandwagon because we won game over 500 now. Like, you're back now. I'm not sure how you feel about that.
I was looking at them from across the street. I was.
Ray helps host a show about the Nets.
Yo, B, if you ain't noticed, right? If you ain't noticed,
I love you, bro. I love you, man. I love you, bro.
B doesn't notice certain, like, sneaky stuff. This is why it's always Queens all day. That's orange and blue up there, baby. You think that was a mistake on the mic? It's blue and orange on the mic. That's what we bleed out here.
SQN. But his back is black in the background.
Yo. Z, stop letting it do between us.
Yeah. I'm not sure I gotta sleep on this. I'm not sure how I feel about this because you was rocking with us like you was a legit Knicks fan, and then you came. Like, no, I'm not gonna bring up the past. You say you back. All right. Okay.
Yo, Z, when I tell you I'm a Knicks fan, like, I want to wring people's neck. When that thing happened with Insanity, I was disgusted. Knicks fans trying to come. They don't. You don't watch basketball, bro. You don't watch basketball. If you're trying to tell me about if this is a good trade or not, if that was a good signing, if Melo didn't, then you're gonna say Melo didn't hate on him.
Yeah, Insanity was different. That was a different time. That was a fun week, but that was different.
Yo, can we talk about that? Can we please talk about that briefly?
Sure.
Like, I was rooting for the Knicks when Linsanity happened. That was a beautiful run, man. It was great for the city. It was great to see, man. To see Jeremy Lin go up against the Lakers on that Sunday against Kobe. Or was it that? It was that Friday night against the Lakers and show out.
He dropped like what, 30?
Yo, that was incredible. I forgot. It was great, yeah. And he was popping threes like it was nothing. Kobe was pissed, but Kobe after he gave him his props. Like, just seeing that, I was like, wow, like this is dope, man. And the fact that Carmelo hated on him, I was just like, damn, like the potential that could have become.
Yep.
Like, if you'd have kept that nucleus, and if Carmelo would have embraced Jeremy Lin, man, like the possibilities that could have came from that. They had a good team, man. I thought they had a good core there. But
I'm not even saying that Jeremy Lin was the answer. I'm saying that, like, what pissed me off more were Knicks fans trying to tell me what a good deal was. It was with the Rockets that he signed it was an offer sheet from the Rockets because he was a restricted free agent, 3 years, 25 million, 5, 5, and 15. So I said that once they traded for Felton was, I forgot where, Portland or Carolina, or it wasn't on Charlotte back then.
I forgot, yeah.
Yeah, but
I forgot where he's at.
Okay. Was it OKC?
He might have been.
He was somewhere. I can't remember. I don't remember.
I think it was OKC at that time. I don't know. Yeah.
They had Jason Kidd on the bench, so I thought they traded for Felton, and then they got they had Jeremy Lin. They had a chance to sign an offer sheet. I'm thinking like, yo, you gotta go sign Jeremy Lin. You'll have a 3-headed monster at point guard. That's beautiful. So once Melo came out and hated, and then all the other Knicks fans were like, "Oh, you don't watch basketball? They punked him. Miami punked him." I said, "Okay, Miami punked him. Well, when was the last time you heard anybody ever game plan for Raymond Felton? Never. That was my issue. They came out and he's preaching racism today. I said they've been racist towards you, Jeremy Lin. Miami Heat they've been discriminating.
Yeah,
discriminating. They were discriminated against you like 8 years ago, bro.
They wasn't calling them coronavirus. They was calling them SARS. Like, oh, we don't need SARS. We don't need that, dude. We don't need bird flu. Like,
yo, is you gonna make it be? Yo, be
was bad. I remember, bro. It was bad.
Linsanity stopped. Yeah, Linsanity stopped in Miami because the Heatles. That's when they did the Heatles back then. They shut him down.
Yeah.
They had that guy shook, and I was like, oh wow. I was watching that game like talking mad shit at school, like, yo, Linsanity. They shut him down.
Yeah, but
But my thing is they didn't give him time. I ain't minded because he needed that. Every player who had like a great week or they started game planning for him. So he needed that. I don't think we had J.K. on the bench at that time. We signed J.K. possibly the year after. I think so.
It was the same off season. It was the same off season that he was offered the contract. So I thought they were gonna have a 3-headed monster at point.
But they didn't want to sign up. They called it a poison pill. It was called a poison pill kind of contract because it was like you said, 5, 5, and 15.
Right.
Like at the end, but looking back, the Knicks are smart for not signing that because look what Jeremy Lin did. Look what happened to him after that. He went from the Rockets. He went from the Rockets to like 3 different teams. I think it's Melo fans. I say Melo stands. I call them stands. Melo stands will never say that that he hated on Jeremy Lin. But I listened and watched too many Knicks reports, Knicks all that, and all the reporters who's Melo biased will tell him that Melo was the one who kind of nudged him out the door. Even Tyson Chandler and Maurice Stoudemire said they was like, yeah, everybody wasn't cool with Linsanity at the time, and they left it at that. And reporters asked him, so who wasn't cool with it? And they would just walk away. And if it had to be somebody of stature at that time. And my thing is, at the end of the day, that's a perfect point guard for Melo. That Melo needed a point guard like that when it came down to it. And I'm sure he looks back saying, damn, I messed up. Because that's the point guard he needed.
Yo, as a outsider looking in on that situation, like when I remember when it happened, like I remember Melo, like when Linsanity started happening, when he started going on a streak and winning games, helping them win games, Melo was hurt, and then he came back in between Linsanity, and it was just taking off. It was like a wildfire, and Omari and Tyson Chandler and those guys, forgot
the whole bench was everybody was hyped.
Playing at that.
It was
everyone.
Landry Fields. It was everybody.
Yeah. Listen, the way they were playing phenomenal ball, and the chemistry was there. Like it was fun to watch. Like you talk about me not watching Knicks games. I was watching Knicks games around that time. Like it was just fun to watch.
I think everybody was at that point.
Everyone was watching, especially if you were from New York. You were watching that. You was watching that run. And like again, going back to that Lakers game, that Friday night on ESPN, it was incredible to see. And then when they ran into the Miami that Sunday game and they shut him down, it was like, damn. But still,
they had him shook.
Still, man.
Yeah,
they had him shook. And I think Melo probably was, he's on the banana boat. He probably told Wade and Braun, like, yo, bro.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, yo, you gotta lock this dude down. He getting too much hype. but still it worked against him. And then when they didn't match the contract from the Rockets, the Knicks, I just felt like, damn, like, yo, this dude really, like, he gave y'all energy, he gave y'all chemistry, he had the bench riding for him, like they were winning games. And there's something about that, even if you're not that great of a player, it's the fact that your team had that chemistry and you were going on such a good run. Like, it's something like you got to keep together, man. And I just felt like Melo embraced it at first when he came back, but he didn't fully embrace it. And
because Melo was still Melo was still young. He was still young. He didn't understand he needed teammates like that. Like, he needed somebody who can. He hated the fact that Jeremy Lin was getting all that kind of shine for some reason. I don't know why. And it's crazy because I'm not sure if it was around the time, but I think Tony Douglas was Melo's point guard at that time, around the time. And I used to work at McDonald's. Tony Douglas came in there twice one time. He came in there twice when I worked there. It was like late night, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. He came in and smacked with like 3 girls around him. Like, yo, can I get 3 McChickens? I'm like, that's Tony Douglas? I'm like, yo, I'm a Knicks fan. He's like, oh, that's what's up, bro. I'm like, shouldn't you be in the gym right now, no? And it's happened like 3 times during the season. I'm like, yo, it's like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, yo, you should be in the gym or at least in the bed right now. Like, my guy. He's like, yeah. He said, yo, that's what's up. You want an autograph? I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I'm cool. But now was Melo's starting point guard. Meanwhile, Jeremy Lin Sandy is out here doing what he gotta do, and he ate on him. It's like,
and his excuse, Melo was hurt at the time. His excuse was going to be that he's the one that helped push him to even get into the game and everything. Yeah. So if anyone, sometimes we get those crazy comments on YouTube. Trust me, I know what went down. I was watching, and it wasn't no secret reports after a while. It was none of that. Melo flat out said it. Like, yo, that's way too much money for him. He flat out came out and said it. That's what pissed me off. And then the rumors were that they were still flirting with Isaiah Thomas. I say, yo, come on, man. Yo, listen, these are the things that piss me off about James Dolan, bro. That's why I'm just like, yo, when they got Porzingis and you didn't know, all right, you're going to trade him? You got to trade him do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? The Mavericks want him bad because you can tell they want to pair Luka up with another great white hope. Yo, be smart about it. Give 10 draft picks out of that motherfucker. That was all. And then, so, you know what? That Saturday was a great time. Do you have any other favorite Knick moments, Knick time period? Is it just the 90s? The Spreewell run with Allen Houston in '99?
I'll say my favorite Knicks time. I'll say Spreewell is my favorite Knick ever. That's my favorite Knick ever. I remember like our pops used to come over to my crib and he'll be chilling, drinking his Heineken as always, and he'll be watching Knicks. I was young at this time, watching Knicks game. I wouldn't know what the Knicks are, but I'll watch it with him. That's how I became a Knicks fan. But Spreewell is my Knick ever, my favorite Knick ever. Besides that, I'll say possibly the Knicks tape era, the 2012, 2013, when Melo was a scoring champ, top 3 MVP. JL was 6th man of the year. Tyson Chandler was defensive player of the year, or probably I think in the running. Like, that team was fun. That team was fun to watch. Besides that, everything was like, it was cool. Like, Marbury era was cool. I remember we got Marbury, but it was cool. But I say 2013 Knicks tape era and this Knicks team right here, because I thought that Knicks tape era was sustainable. I thought it was gonna be sustainable. That's why I like certain Knicks moments, because I thought it'd be sustainable. This Knicks team right here, yeah. So I'll say probably the like I said, Knicks tape era, Linsanity, it was cool. And this team right here.
I'm a little bit older, I guess, because
that's why, because I wasn't really that old enough to really appreciate the LJ 4-point play and Spreewell, the Ewan missing the finger roll. I was old, but I wasn't paying attention that much to it. Like, I was around during that time, but yeah.
Yo, When Patrick Ewing, I don't know what was
That was
worse.
a classic game.
I don't know what was worse. When Patrick Ewing missed the finger roll or when he scored.
Starks?
No, or Starks was bad because everyone was saying Orlando Blackman should came off the bench or whatever, but Olajuwon blocked the shot. It was a great series. We went to the chip. We weren't supposed to win the chip, bro. To be honest with you, they messed up. We knew we could have had Sprewell in '93. That was the rumor back then. Trading.
I did hear about that. Yeah,
I didn't know why they didn't make that trade, but that was an ill era. It was bully ball. It was like bully on defense ball, and I don't know what hurt worse, when Ewing missed the finger roll or when he scored 1 point against the Pacers. That on that going to school at the school lunchroom was painful. 1 point, 1 free throw. You can't talk. You can't talk 1 point. You only got 1 point to make today. It was like you couldn't say nothing.
Right.
And when he missed the finger roll, I was in some video class and we were rewinding the tape over and over again. We were watching whether he walked or not. Why is he walking? Like, it was all type of shit, man. But the Reggie Miller play at the end, the '90s Knicks were fun to watch. It was just,
yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen a crowd like MSG from the '90s on television. That was like a college atmosphere. Everybody that's ever been to a Knicks game, they would all tell me the same thing. Yo, that was the most fun. Only St. John's of the late '80s was as hyped as that. So we missed that. So again, going back to Brooklyn, I don't, and if they could take over the city, there's still nothing like MSG when it's on fire. That shit is like old Yankee Stadium on fire. It's a different atmosphere.
Yeah, I get that,
man. It's the Garden. Like the Garden is historic venue, historic arena, the world's greatest arena. Like, you can't overtop that, man. Like I said earlier, like the Knicks, like just playing at the Garden, if you could win here, like, you'd be celebrated for life. Especially you win that Madison Square Garden. It's just something. Even for Michael Jordan coming here, he called it the Mecca. Like, he loved performing here. Like, it's the center focus of the sports world was Madison Square Garden, man. It's nothing like it. That feel of how the Garden was in the '90s for us, like, that can remember, like, it was unprecedented. It was the biggest ticket in town. This is before the Yankees were winning the World Series, so it was a Knicks town essentially. And I mean, of course, the late '80s you had the Mets, and I remember going, our dad taking us to Shea Stadium to those Mets games, like during like '89, like they won in '86, but they still had a good team from '86, '87, '88, '89, like that run. I remember going to Shea for that. But the Garden during the '90s was the number one ticket in town. If you got a Knicks ticket, '90s, in the like early '90s, mid '90s, you was the man. Like, oh, you went to the Knicks game last night? Like, it was just something different about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It felt different. And I'm a Nets fan, but yo, come on. You cannot deny the power and the charisma of Madison Square Garden. And if you're a Knicks fan, and if the Knicks win in this city, in our city, it's just different. Simple as that, man.
Yeah, it's the fact. Yeah.
Yeah, you just reminded me, we had a lot of loser moments in the '90s too. When Charles Smith that was embarrassing. Going to school for that. That was bad.
The ball. 93.
I did know B was a Bulls fan, but I forgot that he's going to school being a Jordan fan. Like, I used to hate these people, Z. They used to come like, what are you doing?
I was rocking my Jordan all through the halls. Dude, yo, cats.
Hey, I should have jumped him.
Yeah.
Bulls jersey on? Nah, that wasn't happening. Yo, it was, bro, it was the best. It was the best. I loved it. I was a troll. I loved it. It was crazy. I had a John Starks jersey. I love John Starks, man. That was my dude on the Knicks. Him and Charles Oakley. Like, but still.
Oakley might be
Jordan's the man. Jordan gave the Knicks nightmares. And Rick Miller. Oak is the man, bro. I don't care who, what. Mike Jordan was mad when the Knicks, when the Bulls traded him. He was pissed. That was his enforcer.
Because every team needs,
when they got Bill
Cartwright
a goon.
For. Yep. Like, every superstar wants a goon next to them. Who could hold them down. Like Oakley and Anthony Mason, like those were Patrick Ewing goons. You touch Pat, they coming at you.
Ewing was difficult to watch too, but he's still the best Knick ever, and I don't even know.
Yeah, my thing is funny because if you watch a Knick game, Walt Clyde Frazier will always say Patrick Ewing's the second greatest Knick ever, after him, because he bought.
Who was the first?
Him,
Earl or himself?
No, himself. No, he said himself. Walt Clyde Frazier. He bought 2 championships to New York.
I never heard him say that.
Yeah,
but he said it jokingly, but he's serious. Yeah. He said Patrick Ewing's the second greatest Knick ever. It makes you can't argue with 2 championships in New York.
I met Clyde.
I did too. Yeah, Clyde.
I met Clyde.
Clyde's cool.
Yo, cool dude, bro. Fly.
Yes.
Smooth. You mean shit like he's that guy. Like he's that guy, bro.
He ain't a better Knick than Patrick Ewing. He got to stop. Show some respect.
He poured 2.
He 2 rings. You can't argue 2. You can't argue 2 rings. You cannot argue 2 rings.
Yeah,
2 rings.
Pat.
Yeah,
I didn't see them things. I didn't see Clyde play, but our pops and like my godfather, like those they're old school Knicks fans. Like the way they talk about him and they talk about Earl of Pearl and they talk about, of course, oh my God, my man that came out limping.
Willis Reed.
Like
Dave
that was
DeBusschere.
A different time, especially like think about it for Dave DeBusschere. Even like Phil Jackson, but he wasn't the greatest player on the team, but he was a part of those teams. But just the way they talk about them, like if you sit down, you talk to old school Knicks fans from like the 60s and 70s, and you talk about those 2 championships that they won, the way they talk about those players, man, is different. Like it's a different feel, man. Hearing it from them. But I love Pat. Pat is my favorite. But I agree with you.
No, you can't. Patrick Ewing is the best Knick ever. I don't understand this argument. Walt Clyde Frazier is out of his mind for everything in it. He will be ever as important to a team as Patrick Ewing was to the 90s Knicks.
How can you say that? He brought 2 rings to the
He did not bring 2 rings to the Knicks. That entire team that we just named did that. Patrick Ewing brought him to the championship. And Patrick Ewing went toe-to-toe. Everyone always shits on him because we all love Pat.
We all love Pat.
Finger roll.
Right.
Okay. I love Pat.
Look up Walt Clyde Frazier's finals stats though. Like Walt Clyde Frazier's stats in the finals. I think he was like he had like a 36 points, like 19 assists, 5 steal game in the finals or some shit like that. Some crazy like that in the finals. You can't argue that.
He was fresh in his youth. Patrick Ewing, he lost Bernard King, bro. He didn't get Sprewell. Do you understand these trades that I was flipping my textbook over? You can never tell me that nobody's better than Patrick Ewing. He suffered. He's like Jesus. He got crucified, bro. They did him dirty. I was sick of it. After a while, I had the same feeling everybody else did in the 90s. Oh, Ewing came up short, whatever. But then I thought about it. If it wasn't for Patrick Ewing, the Knicks would have been nobody. And they took the Bulls to 7 games. Like, come on now, the Pacers, they copied the Knicks game. They didn't go to the championship until the late 90s either. Ewing deserves way more credit than what he gets. He gets slandered, man. It's bad. 2 bad knees.
He does. He gets slandered. But I can't argue between him and Walt. Like Walt is that guy. I never watched Walt play because shit. But his stat line and what he did for the Knicks, he bought 2 rings. At the end of the day, 2 rings is eclipse anything Pat have ever done for the Knicks.
Jesus Christ!
It's 2 rings. I can see if it's one. It's 2 rings.
See, but I'm a guy that I think the whole ring argument is overrated. Like, that's foul. You can't control your team. Like, that's why LeBron left Cleveland. Jordan was threatening to leave Chicago. Kobe was crying to get traded from the Lakers. Nobody remembers any of this. Nobody remembers any of this. Let's not forget any of this. Patrick Ewing did not go in front of reporters or crying on TV, and they failed them. They didn't get a squad until 99.
Mike almost came to New York.
Yeah.
According to Jay-Z.
No one talks about
hold on a second, y'all. Sorry, my fault.
Go ahead.
93. That 92, 93 season, Mike almost came to New York. Pat, because him and Pat Riley are good friends. They were great friends. Mike was downstairs at Madison Square Garden ready to make that happen. That's documented. But then the Bulls actually went out their way and made the better deal. But he was ready. He would have been Mike was ready to be a Knick. Because Pat was one of his boys too, and he loved Pat Riley. That almost happened.
So what are we saying? If he leaves the Bulls are done. Done.
And I'm a Knicks fan.
You put Jordan on those Knicks?
Bro, dynasty. You know what? I always wanted to talk about this because Jordan talks about it a lot. He brings it up. Oakley brings it up. Like, yo, no one knows how close Michael Jordan was coming to becoming a Knick. Like, him and Pat Riley, they still great friends. Him and Patrick Ewing, still great friends. Him and Charles Oakley, the best of friends. Like, Jordan was ready because he hated that front office in Chicago. And he was like, all right, bet. He was in New York, ready to make that deal until the Chicago got in their senses and was like, all right, no, we got to give Mike this money. If he goes to the Knicks, it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
There's nobody stopping that team with that defense and those players. You're Michael Jordan with Charles Oakley and Patrick Ewing and Anthony Mason and John. Come on, son. Come on, Pat Riley coaching Jordan and Ewing? Bro, I can't front. The fact that when I first found that out years ago when Michael Jordan said it, I was hyped because I was like, damn, if Mike would have been a Knick, this town would have exploded. The amount of championships this team would have had, this town would have had. I always wanted to have this conversation. It's the first time I'm having this conversation, bro. I love it. Damn. Mike, yo, damn. Mike was the Knick. Wow.
You didn't. That was it. You had to drink to that. I remember the front page of the paper. Yes. If I'm not mistaken, it was the front page of the newspaper. They put the Knick jersey on Jordan. This is what happens. They put a Knick Jordan on Jordan. They put a Knick jersey on Jordan. Z, if I'm not mistaken, on the front page of the paper, Daily News, and we were all like, hype. Jesus is coming.
Listen, how big does Jordan? Jordan, Mike was big in Chicago. Imagine Mike
in New York
in a Knicks jersey at the Garden every night. He loved playing at the Garden. Him, Patrick Ewing, and Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason, John Starks. Like, just, yo, Pat Riley's your coach. Michael Jordan and Patrick Ewing are leading the team.
New York will
Who's
be different.
beating that team in the 90s? Nobody. Fucking body. Michael Jordan said it, yo, he was minutes away from signing that fucking contract. He was right there. It was right there on the table.
Okay, why didn't he? He said.
Crazy, bro. I was so hyped. Because the Bulls actually, they finally came to their senses. Jerry Reinsdorf and the other Jerry that Michael Jordan hate, Jerry Krause, finally came to their senses like, yo, we got to pick a guy. Between the 92 season, after they won the chip in 92 against Portland, like that deal for the Knicks for 93 was going to happen.
That would have been wild.
And they came to they put up that But bro, imagine Michael Jordan in New York. Like, yo, bro, there's no one beating that. They're beating Houston. 93, they're beating Phoenix. They're beating Houston. They're beating Houston again. The Bulls are not going to be where they're at. Yo, bro, who's stopping that team?
Yeah, nah. No one.
Come on, man.
Knicks will have at least a good, I'll say, at least 2 championships in the 90s if John was signed. At least 2. At least.
I say more.
Not say at least. It could be more, but I say at least 2.
Pat Riley doesn't leave if Michael Jordan's there.
Oh, hell no. No. Pat stays.
Pat Riley's not leaving. He's not going he's not taking a hiatus, and he's then a few years later going to Miami. He's staying in New York, and they're building it, and they're giving Pat Riley that autonomy, like you said earlier. It's a different game. I mean, these are what ifs, but that almost happened. This is documented. This almost happened, man. So we can.
I think John said this in the Last Dance, didn't he? Did he bring this up, or was it somebody else bring this up?
I think somebody else brought it up. I don't think he mentioned it.
Okay.
But the first,
you know what?
I didn't think it was true growing up. I didn't think it was. I thought it was a rumor, and then Jay-Z put it in the book, and he said we were sitting down at dinner, and I think it was Juan that was at the table, and he said, "Yo," he wanted to fuck with Juan because he was cool with Jordan. He was like, "Yo, tell him how close you were signing with the Knicks." He's like, "Man, get the fuck out of here." He was like, "I was dead ass gonna sign with them," and it floored him.
Yep.
Because as a Knicks fan, you're like because I remember that moment. And just
that's wild.
Because you knew you couldn't beat him.
Yeah.
You like that your team is just and I don't know, because a part of me always felt like it was gamesmanship with him. Like, look, this is how bad I got y'all. That you know you can't beat me. That you know you'd rather me join you. Like, I felt like he was always shitting on us like that. Like, damn, you want to get hyped, but you had no choice but to get so fucking excited. So they're saying that it was over money. And he signed like what's called a balloon deal, where the contract inflates as it gets longer, as it gets towards the end of it. And he didn't want to sign like another deal with them or whatever. But then, like B said, they came to their senses. I don't think Jerry Krause gets enough credit either for the Bulls. And they shit on him during the documentary. And to me, it's like Jordan is out of his mind.
He built that.
He built it, but he also destroyed it too, though.
I don't think he destroyed them.
I mean, at the end, 98. Like,
my thing is
basically, he told Phil Jackson, "Listen, you're not the coach here."
Right.
If he doesn't tell Phil Jackson that, it's possibly a 99 and a 2000.
So that's all
in a short season when the NBA had a strike. You don't think the Bulls are winning that championship? Come on,
definitely.
You're giving Jordan, Rodman, Pippen,
they all coming back.
Phil Jackson time to prepare with 52 games. They're winning that shit.
They would have played Tim Duncan and David Robinson, and
they would have bust that ass.
Yeah, but
they would have won a good, I'll say 6.
You're forgetting. Listen, there's a lot that's forgotten about. And you know what? I'm glad that's what was good. I'm glad in the Last Dance they covered Pippen was fucked up. His back was fucked up, and Kukoc was not showing up, and Rodman was on his last drink. The Bulls were not the Bulls. Even when Jordan came back, a lot of people forget when he came back and they lost to Orlando. They would have lost to Orlando anyway. They didn't have a power forward. They lost Horace Grant to Orlando. There was no Dennis Rodman there when Jordan first came back. There's a lot of misconceptions with Jordan. That's why, once again,
if Jordan doesn't retire, does Horace Grant leave and go to Orlando?
Right. They were disrespecting Horace Grant the same way he disrespected Jordan later on.
I don't think he leaves. I don't think he leaves.
I don't think
there. Like, I don't see him.
If Krause would have, it's hard. Hindsight is crazy, but if he would basically built the team right going into the final season, then you never know. Because for sure, if Jordan and Phil Jackson came back, Pippen was definitely coming back. Rodman, you can say he's on his last leg, his last drink. But with them, he'll got shit together with them because they already know how to get him together. The Lakers didn't know how to handle Rodman. They just signed him because he just came off a championship.
I just don't think it's that easy. I think
it's not that easy. No,
Jordan.
Because Steve Kerr ended up going to the Spurs that year too, right? Yeah, matter of fact, he did because he ended up winning in 99, 98, 99. I think so.
What?
I think Steve Kerr's on that team. Unless he's on the following year. He's on one of them Spurs teams that ended up winning.
Well, that he's the reason why he saved the Spurs in one season against Dallas.
Yeah. He is. I'm trying to think. I'm about to check right now.
Because they broke up the Bulls for the during the lockout season, but hindsight is always 20/20,
right?
And it's that's why I say the whole 6 out of 16 with Jordan and everything. I think all that shit is overrated. Like
Steve Kerr ended up signing with the Spurs in 98, 99. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
The following year. Yep. He got a ring that following year with them.
So he got 5 or 6 rings.
Kerr has,
because Ori got 7.
Kerr has 5 rings.
Got 5 rings. So he left and came back. So I just think that whole deal with like 6 out of 6, and it's that like the Utah Jazz were like they had no chance against the Bulls. I don't understand. The Pacers were a better team, and it just so happened that the East got better, and the West was starting to come back towards the end in the late 90s when Shaq went to the out West, and then Sacramento was starting to come up. San Antonio was starting to come up. San Antonio. Listen, I am a lunatic when it comes to watching these old school games. I watched when Robinson and Duncan's rookie season, his first game against the Bulls. That was no easy. When you watch the early 90s, Kenny Smith is not lying. The early 90s games with the Rockets versus the Bulls, they have a problem because Vernon Maxwell was not scared of Michael Jordan. He was like Bizarro Jordan. I'm not as tall as you, but I might smack you during the game. It's ill to watch because they can't do nothing about Akeem.
And what happened to Vernon Maxwell when he went to the Sixers against Mike in his first full season back from retirement? He bust that ass because of those same comments. And he said he bust that ass. Him and Jerry Stackhouse, they got their ass bust. Go to the tapes. But go ahead.
There was no Akeem Olajuwon on the 76ers. Knock it off. Those early Rockets, they were ill. They would have been killing in this era. That team was ill, and that's when Olajuwon was kind of maturing because he was an asshole too. But my point is that there's a lot of things with the 90s. We're gonna actually do like a podcast on it, episode on it, like what happened in the 90s for the scoring to drop, the defense picked up. Sabonis never made it to Portland. Both the superstars from the Celtics died. There's a lot that happened. There's no dynasty aside from the Bulls. And when there were dynasties in the 80s, Jordan wasn't winning. He was losing to them.
Yeah.
He lost to the Celtics and he lost to the Pistons. It's not just that it's Jordan, it's the fact that you had more teams in the 90s. There were like, I want to say 5 to 6 more teams in the 90s than the 80s. All these things play a factor. And when you hear Jordan in one of the press conferences, he says, I did this with what's that called? With expansion. Expansion took place. I'm like, yeah, but it's the only dynasty. Nobody else. Barkley has to go to Phoenix and get a better team. He was not going to get a team like that in Philadelphia. All that shit is a factor. And I'm not saying that he wouldn't have won. I'm just saying, like, yo, let's not forget.
Let's not forget. But I
think you can say so. That's why I was quiet.
Yeah, I was waiting.
You still have to go out and perform, and whoever you play against, no matter how many fucking teams in the league, no matter if the Grizzlies come, the Raptors come, the Orlando Magic come, Miami Heat come, you play who's in front of you. And the Bulls played who was in front of them, and they outperformed them. Pause. They won. Simple as plain. Simple as that. They won.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah. And Fuck that.
So you don't put any kind of stock. Wait, so B, you put no stock into the LeBron versus Jordan conversation?
Oh my god, that's another podcast because with this bottle of Douce, go all night. I'm about to finish this shit. Why is that a pause?
That's a pause.
Because you could go all night. Yeah, nah, that's a pause. Yeah.
I didn't say I could go all night with. Wow. Nah, son. Now Cypher, son. Chill.
I told Mel I don't play the pause game no more. I was doing that 20 years ago. I'm not a kid anymore. Then he got me back into it. It's fun.
Listen, I ain't on that funny style shit. We ain't about that. If that's what you do, hey, that's on you. But as far as back to this shit, no one's beating the. I just don't think no one's beating the Bulls. And as far as MJ and LeBron, yeah, it was two different eras. And Mike says it all the time. It's hard to compare eras to eras because certain players that play against certain is X amount. But man, for what Jordan did while he was playing, it was incredible, man. LeBron's not wearing 23 if Michael Jordan doesn't do what he did. You know what I'm saying? Even LeBron to tell you, like, yo, Michael Jordan's his GOAT. I mean, I love LeBron. You know what I'm saying? I would never take anything. This is his era. He is the GOAT of this era. Hands down. Without a doubt. Michael Jordan was the GOAT of his era. Without a doubt. And what he did in the 90s, in the 80s, was incredible, man. What LeBron's doing in his 18-year career and still doing right now is incredible. So you got to give LeBron his respect. And, you always got to give Michael Jordan his respect. So,
that's why I can't really compare them.
Definitely got to have a podcast.
It's different era.
Yeah.
Definitely different eras for them, too. Because my thing is, people go from Jordan to LeBron and forget there's somebody named Kobe who's like right in the middle of that, who's the closest thing to Michael.
I don't have Kobe up there.
What? What? How did you have Kobe up there?
How do you have Kobe? Like, because if I'm picking if you got the best 10 teams, if it's a draft pick and you got 27 teams, what is it, 30 teams? Kobe's not gonna. He's not making top 10. You can't pick Kobe over Kareem. Can't pick Kobe over Shaq. Can't pick Kobe over. I got Tim Duncan over him. You just can't start a team with Kobe over them. They dominate the game too much. And most of them could play in both eras. Kobe could play in any era. That's where he got the advantage at. Any era he could play in. But I think Kareem would change the game. Shaq would change the game. Tim Duncan changes the game. I don't got Dirk above Kobe.
What about Jordan though? Would you pick those players before Jordan?
You know what's funny? Nah, I mean, I got Jordan number 1, but what the funny thing is, what does he do in this era with like that first part of his? Because the way I compared going back to Jordan's
era is like 40 in this era.
I don't know. It's easy to say that, but with a zone type defense and they could block you out of a game, the Pistons were playing illegal defense and they couldn't stop them, but they couldn't play zone. If they forced him out with those Bulls and that same Michael Jordan, the way he shot jumpers, he's not average 40 like that. You can't. So
why not? Why not? Without hands on him. And you got guys like Kawhi Leonard, you got guys like Kevin Durant, like these guys with a mid-range that are exploiting this zone. You don't think even Jordan with the Wizards? I'm not saying he was the greatest with the Wizards. He averaged like 22 points with the Wizards. He was exploiting these zone defenses, bro. You don't think Michael Jordan in his prime would do that?
Defense is soft now.
You could say that, but he might have been a different player. Like, it's a different era, bro. It's easy to say all that shit. It's easy to say all that shit. But even Kobe wasn't shooting like that when he first came to the league. he would have been smart enough. You would think that what they do is they get better at whatever they're bad at, and whatever they need to get better at, it would take them a short amount of time to get better at it because they have a high IQ. And especially Jordan, I think that is the rarity that's the separation between Kobe, LeBron, and Jordan, where Kobe had the capability, but he just said fuck it too many times. Like Jordan and LeBron more or less made the right play.
Yeah.
As much as Jordan chucked, he was still learned from the Pistons era and Phil Jackson telling them, yo, they're letting you go left, making you pass with your left hand because they know you're not going to pass to your teammates and you're trying to make a play to score. So we got to run a triangle offense so you can involve your teammates. I compare both of those players, LeBron and Jordan, the second half of their careers, because the first half they were both learning. You know what I'm saying? And neither one of their teams was ready to fucking win. If LeBron would have stayed in Cleveland, he would have been cursed.
The thing was, I was saying, go ahead, go. You go first.
Go ahead. You got it.
The thing I would say with Jordan in his second half of his career, not the Wizards, I'm talking about he coming back from his first retirement. The way he adapted, and he said this on in The Last Dance. He said he loved the fact that, of course, he lost his step and he wasn't going to be dunking on everybody no more. He didn't have the jumping legs anymore. The fact that he had to rely on his skills and his mid-range game and the way he exploited defenses and players, he loved it. He thrived on it. That's why the fadeaway became such a vital weapon for him, because he worked on that game and players just couldn't stop it. They couldn't stop it. Kobe had to adapt that mid-range game, that fadeaway. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the fact that Jordan was in between that era in the 80s and the 90s where you still had to rely on your fundamentals, your skills. And even you definitely seen it more so when his 2 seasons with the Wizards. He relied more on that mid-range game, and it helped him a lot. It helped him average 22 points in the league with the Kobe's, the T-Macs, the Iversons, the players like that, Paul Pierce, like that. A lot of these players now, they don't have those fundamentals. Like, I don't see a lot of players being able to adapt like Jordan did later on in his career. A lot of players, like AAU players, like we're going to get into that one day, the AAU players that, they just try to do a flash and they have the crossover, crazy handle. They try to create shots. Mike was smart. The player IQ was there. And a lot of players lack that. And the fact that he was able to rely on those skills and thrive on those skills and have successfully win with those skills is something to be in awe of. And that's why I give props to Tim Duncan. They call him the big fundamental. He relied on the fundamentals. Jordan, those players, they thrived on those fundamentals. And that's what separates, I think, Mike from like Kobe. I mean, Kobe's one of the best scorers ever, one of the best players ever. Kobe's got to be, I don't know, I probably have Kobe in my top 5 somewhere. But he, to me, like what Jordan did and what LeBron is doing, and from year to year, they're adapting and having a feel for the game. It's unprecedented, man. They're anomalies. So, but
yeah, it comes down to their fundamentals. Like, they was able to adapt. Like, when Kobe and Mike came into the league based on their athleticism and high jumping, all that in the air. And then once they realized, I don't know, somebody probably in the air saying, yo, this won't last too long. So start working on your game. And they start actually working on their footwork, using their head more, drawing fouls, using the backbone, like all that. And it helps. And this kind of brings it back to my Blake Griffin conversation. He worked on he came to league athletic, and he never worked on his fundamentals. I don't see that from him, like, translating. He's a smart player, but he never worked on his fundamentals of the game as far as like footwork and all that. like how Kobe and Mike did, and that what separates them.
I agree with all that, but again, we always compare Jordan to this era or the players back in them days. We never say young Jordan. I'm saying coming into this league. Why do we always say, like, it's easy for me to say James Harden couldn't play back in the day and do that bullshit. He could not do that stupid step back. They would have called a walk. That was not allowed back then. So I can easily say these things, but it's so hard for people to imagine the God, Michael Jordan, to not be able to have a handle in this era. His handle wasn't like that. It was all right, but who was he playing against? Like, people forget these things. There was nobody like Michael Jordan. Nobody can guard him. Nobody was as physical as him. Nobody looked like him. Nothing like him. So he's going to be in an era where you have a bunch of players that look like you and they can keep up with you and they have a better handle than you do. All of that. Not to say that he still wouldn't be Mike or be one of the best. But that's what separates LeBron and Jordan to me, is that physically, let's say with Kobe physically, Phil Jackson broke it down one time. Mike was stronger, bigger hands. Those are the keys. Those are the keys versus him and Mike. And Michael just played the right way. He made I think he made better decisions. What you want to say, B? Because I pissed you.
Listen, yo, I love you, bro. I love you, man. And I agree with what you said. My thing with that is, all right, this era wouldn't be this era if there wasn't a Michael Jordan in the 80s coming out of UNC. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had this I don't know if you remember, we had this discussion like maybe a year or two ago. What is the game without Magic or Bird or Michael Jordan? Because, like you said, like what you just said, no one could guard him. His hands, his speed, his agility, his athleticism was unprecedented. It was an anomaly. Like, he was embarrassing the league. No one's seen a player like him. So if you take him out of the 80s, is the game the way it is today without Michael Jordan? I don't know. I don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the Back to the Future effect. If you take Marty McFly's family out of this equation, is their future?
That's not the way I think of it. I'm thinking of it like it's an NBA 2K game. And that's why when you're trying to compare like Golden State 70 win team versus the Bulls 70 win team, when you ask me who's going to win, it depends on what rules we're playing with. If you're talking about 90s rules, Golden State's getting swept. Golden State's getting swept.
Yes.
Dennis Rodman is going to grab somebody's ass cheek. Scottie Pippen's going to lock somebody up, and Jordan just Jordan. You know what I mean? Like, it just, you can't. But now, if you put the Bulls against those Warriors with Durant, with these rules, they're not beating those Warriors. They're not. They got to play zone defense. They're not built to play a stamina game. They're built to play a 90-point game. They're not scoring 130 points. That's not what they're built for. This shit is a marathon nowadays.
But because the game evolves. And that's
also,
this is what I love about Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan said this while he was playing. Like, listen, every era is different. That's why he said he never called himself the GOAT like LeBron did. He said he never called himself the GOAT on numerous occasions. Listen. Never called himself the GOAT. But listen, calm down, man. Let me cook. Let me cook, man. Because every era changes and evolves due to certain players in a certain era before them. If there's no Michael Jordan in the 80s and 90s, is the game the way it is? Is the game set up for Kobe and Al Iverson and T-Mac to be what it is, and for LeBron to come in and do what he's doing? Exactly. I'm just saying every era has an effect. There's a cause and effect to this. And I agree. If the Bulls play the Golden State in this era with these rules, I don't think they're beating Golden State. No. And the Bulls were a defensive team, but with these rules set up, no, not in this era. You put Golden State, like you said, you put Golden State in the Bulls era, they're getting swept. It's a totally different game, but the game evolves.
I mean,
the game evolves, man. I mean, and that's what hard to compare. It's hard to compare, man. Go ahead, Z.
Like I said, if you put no. It's just piggybacking off just a little point you said about if you bring the Bulls into this era, I don't think they losing still. Like that Bulls team, you're talking about the 72 win team, right?
Mm-hmm.
That one. If you bring that team against the KD Warriors, I don't know if the Bulls are losing because Jordan's locking up Steph because Jordan's gonna be on Steph. Pippen's gonna be on Clay. No, Pippen's gonna be on KD. Ron Harper's gonna be on Clay. You can leave Draymond open.
Not back then.
Yeah, back then Draymond's he was hitting a little bit threes, but still you'll be all right if you put who's this on for? Was it Rodman still? Rodman could guard Draymond. And then who was like 5? Luke Longley at the time?
Yeah.
I'm not sure who the Golden State Warriors 5 was.
Oh, what's my man name?
Was it Azalea?
The foreign player.
Azalea or Pachulia or
he was on the Bucks.
I think it was.
It could have been Pachulia. Could have been
and
Azalea.
He came to the Cavs.
Been...
And he came to the Cavs and got hurt. Like
Andre Varejao. Him.
Mm-mm.
Well,
yeah.
whatever.
Oh no, not Varejao. He was on. He was. I forgot the dude's name, man.
Bogut. Andrew Bogut.
Well, Golden State for those first
Andrew
two
Bogut.
championships.
Okay. Well.
Yes.
Well.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, regardless, you could put
Rodman is killing that. Luke Longley is locking them down.
Yeah, like
a while.
Like between MJ, Ron Harper, and Pippen, they switching on KD, Steph, and Clay all day. And then on the other side, who's guarding Jordan and Pippen wasn't that he wasn't that great of an offensive threat, but who's guarding Jordan?
They're playing it. No, Pippen was a great offensive threat, but
I'm saying compared to KD or Jordan.
Klay Thompson is not a bad defender. Steph is a weak on defense. But if I don't know if Andrew Bogut's on that team with Durant, I'm not sure.
I don't think he was. I'm not sure. But even so, they foul was the weakest link. If anything, they small ball lineup had Iguodala as a 4, I think, or the 3. They was good defensively a little bit, but I don't see nobody guarding Jordan and Pippen like that.
No, and I forgot. All right. So, all right. Say we play with today's rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
Luke Longley's probably not in the start lineup. Luke Longley's probably not in this lineup. Tony Kukoc is probably a center, or it might be Dennis Rodman.
Mm-hmm.
And you're stretching the floor. Tony Kukoc could 3.
Rodman's a 5, yeah.
And Rodman's giving. Yeah, Rodman's your 5. Luke Longley, not Luke Longley. Tony Kukoc is your 4, and he's stretching the floor because he could pop that 3. He could pop that mid range. He's a finesse player. They call him the Spider of Split in Croatia.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, and Ron Harper plays defense. Michael Jordan plays defense. Scottie Pippen plays defense. Dennis Rodman plays defense. Your weakest link is Tony Kukoc on defense.
And
they defend. I'm not. It's not a walk in the park, but man,
that's my thing. I don't think it's a walk in the park. Yeah, because some people may seem as if this Golden State Warriors would just get them off the court easily, or some people may seem like the Bulls would get them off the court easily. I don't think it's a walk in the park either way, because regardless, it's a great matchup on both sides. I'll have the Bulls taking it. I got the Bulls taking it though.
I just don't know where they were geared to play. That's the part that B was walking towards. He was making a great point, and then he stumbled on it because he's thinking that he's still on the God MC's nuts like that. Listen, if Jordan, remember that Will Smith movie? I didn't even watch the movie, but the commercial was so ill that Will Smith saw his I don't know the name of it. He saw his younger self.
Gemini.
That's what it's called.
Oh,
yeah,
Gemini man is
Gemini.
Okay. So that's what Jordan is basically.
Gemini man, yeah.
That's what Jordan is basically seeing when he sees this era, the LeBrons of the world and the Kawhis of the world. And okay, but with that Warriors team, they're not built. If you're just taking a time machine, plucking them out, and getting them to play in a time machine basketball court, they're not built to run that game. They're not built to score 120. 130. Kukoc is not gonna be playing for. He might be smoking cigarettes at halftime. He's a wild boy. Kukoc is like Ronnie Divac used to smoke cigarettes and eat pizza.
But we talk.
Yo, listen,
we made
Steve Kerr to always.
Go ahead,
bro.
No, you got it.
Yo, Steve Kerr used to always say about Tony Kukoc. He said, "Yo, it was wild watching Tony Kukoc before games and during games." He said, "Yo, Tony Kukoc would eat the most. He would eat like 3 meals before the game. He said he would eat a big ass meal and take a big ass shit and just go play. And he said it was phenomenal to watch. He said, yo, he's like, yeah, I play game, I eat food, I take big shit, and I go play real game. Yo, those are Steve Kerr's words. He said, I take big shit and I go play. Yo, he said watching Tony Kukoc do that was phenomenal. And again, Tony Kukoc he's coming from Croatia. He's coming from the Euro League. These dudes are playing guys. They know the fun of it. They've been playing guys since he's been playing ball since he was like 14, 15, playing against grown men. It's a different mentality, man. These European players. I don't know. All I know is it would be interesting to see that 72-10 game team versus that 73-9 team. And I don't know, but I would love to see that, man. We'll never see that. But
right,
I'm with Zane. I'm picking any team. Michael Jordan, especially 96, 95, 96 season. I'm picking Mike, man. The way they were playing, it was just.
Yeah, I gotta go with Mike too. I have to.
They were the Beatles.
I can't do it. The same way if you bring Golden State back to that era, they couldn't dribble the ball like that. Steph already plays different in the playoffs now. So imagine him in the playoffs back then. They would mash them. Durant, they would crush Durant. Robin's gonna do some flagrant business. They would just Draymond's getting kicked out in the first quarter. You know what I mean? Like they were built to like mentally. It was mental back then. Nowadays it's pure physical stamina.
Yeah.
Back then it was like you had to be a real alpha dude. Nowadays the alpha dude is kind of like his numbers gone.
But back then, all them players was playing. They was playing like good 70, 75 to 82 games a game. These players now love load management and minute restrictions. These players are playing 82 games with 35 minutes a game. They used to that. Like that was regular for them.
No, but I don't think it was back then. It was 72 games of what they're doing now. They're playing way more possessions now. It's more
possessions. Yeah, a lot more possessions.
Yeah. I think it's way more taxing on and there's big men back then. You can rest back then. Like the way they played the game was like more like football. You're reading the offense and the defense. Now, it's in a glare the game is going by now. It's hard to watch sometimes.
Yo, Ray, and with that, is a gift and a curse. It's a cause and effect. Because now, how many ACL injuries have we seen in this era compared to back then? You know what I'm saying? Like the condition is much better. Players train much better. They're more physical, more athletic now. But with that is the risk of injury, like an ACL injury, and you've seen it a lot in basketball, in football, even in baseball, man. Like, so I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, but nah, you said a good point though. Like back then, they relied on the big man. You're able to rest on offense and defense a bit more. But now it's more physical, more fast paced. But these guys are getting injured, having major big injuries at an alarming rate than compared to back then.
I forgot about the hand.
Hand check. That's a big part of it.
I wrote it on the blog. The year that Steve Nash went from Dallas to Phoenix, that summer they changed the rule.
I read that blog, bro.
They changed the rule, bro.
Listen,
it was.
What year was that? He went from.
I want to say it was
02?
No, it wasn't that early. It wasn't that early.
You said he went from Dallas to Phoenix, right?
Yes.
That was around Amari's time.
No, Amari was there. Yeah, you're right. Amari was there. He had to have been because it was Amari.
That could be like 08, maybe. Maybe I could be wrong.
The secret sauce was Joe Johnson off the bench. Phoenix had bad luck. He fell on his face and broke his nose. Phoenix had a crazy team. And you couldn't check Steve Nash. Steve Nash changed as a player because of that rule. So Steph as a player is a different player in the 90s and the 80s. That's when people talk that shit. I'm like, you can't play like that. Muhammad Abdul-Rahman was doing the same shit, but they would have smacked Steph Curry for daring to shoot from the logo.
Steph would have been putting his ass.
Yes. Phil Jackson would have got JoJo English.
And that's why. And that's why Michael Jordan would have thrived in this era.
I don't know. It's different, bro. I'm telling you, like, I understand what you're saying. I love the hero. Oh my God, he's oh my, yeah, I get it. it's just LeBron is a different beast, bro. LeBron doesn't even get enough. That's what LeBron does on the court, passing wise, is genius.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes,
genius. Absolutely. Any side of the court, the skip passes that he makes, the reads that he makes, it's genius level. It's like if you want to pick Jordan number 1, that's cool. I'm cool with that. But I don't have Jordan number 1 I have it strictly because of the first half of their careers. Jordan's first half of his career, I could never say that it was his fault that they lost or that he dropped the ball in a given time. I've seen LeBron drop the ball too many times in the first half of his career, and he got over the hump when he lost to Dallas. That's why I gotta give it to Jordan, because mentally Jordan never faltered. He was gonna kill you. He was a killer. So that's why I give the edge to LeBron. But those are the two best I've ever seen in my life.
I can't argue that.
Here.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
I thought B wanted to say something. You want to wrap it up, B, or you want to keep? I keep going, man. I'm nuts. But Z, I don't know if Z got the. I don't know if Z got the 2000.
Huh?
How you feeling, bro?
I'm good right now. I need to charge my headphones real quick. I'm good right now.
Go ahead. Yo,
give me 1 second.
Listen.
Charge my headphones.
Listen, yo, Z, this is why me and Ray are doing what we're doing. Because this is what we, for 3 years, we've been wanting to do. You know, we got to this point where we were having these same conversations on a Marco Polo app. But, you know what I'm saying? It's amongst friends. You know, barbershop talk. Basically, the Marco Polo was our dojo. You know what I'm saying? To have these conversations. It was our sparring session to have these type of conversations. Now that we actually putting it out for everyone to consume, it's like this is what we always wanted to do. And I mean, now we at this point where we're actually putting content out there, and people are actually getting a response, giving us a response, and you know, sharing our perspective with everybody. This is ill, man. We always wanted to do this, man. So you being here with us, right? Like this is special. But we always want having these conversations just like this. We've had before, but we never shared with the general public.
It's like it's like a regular
share the space with
It's like regular shit, like just talking, just chopping it up.
That's what it is.
Like,
Chopping
everybody
it
likes
up.
seeing it. Like everybody loves seeing. Because everybody has these kind of conversations in their crib or with their mans and them or whoever. Like everybody has these conversations, and it's good to see other people have these kind of conversations. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Let me get my other headphones real quick.
Yo, I disrespected the game and I had the wrong camera in the whole time.
What you mean?
Look, I don't look clearer now?
Yeah, I see. Yo, look at it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So we got to do another 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours of you with that background.
I don't mind. With this background?
That's not happening.
No. You're ready. Yo, I had to get up.
But yo, bro, this is what I envision for us, having these type of conversations and putting it out there, giving people our perspective. This is what Mel envisioned for us coming together, our brother Mel, and to finally be putting this product out, putting our content out is a beautiful thing to see, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is barbershop talk. We just kicking it, we chilling it, we talking about sports or whatever. And to see it come to fruition is beautiful to see, bro. And I'm glad to be sharing this space with you. I got my brother on here. Like, this is dope, man. This is ill. This is ill shit.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Like that's we just getting better, man. We got the new logo up. Want to promote everything the right way.
Yes.
Like we always promote the person in perspective. That's coming up soon. We got to feed the wolves because they expecting that. Like they really can't. They can't wait for it. And yo, shout out to RJ, the R&B guru, or
JR, my brother, man. Yo, JR, listen. Like this week, the love he showed us, and like just retweeting our videos, and like just putting it out there, man. I appreciate that, man. Shout outs to my boy JR, man. Great brother. I watched him and his homegirl, man. Their podcast on R&B, bro. If you ain't see it yet, you gotta check that shit out.
No, I was checking it out.
They got an ill. they got an ill podcast. Man, if you love R&B, please check them out, man. I got to get the links. I feel bad that I don't want to put the wrong thing out there, but yeah, man, my brother JR, man, he got some shit, man. He got a dope podcast. Definitely. Hold on, yeah. Let me see what we got.
Yeah, we got I think we got an official guest, Knicks tape guest.
Yes, yes. Follow at RNB Reps on Twitter, RNBREPS. Follow their Twitter account. They got an ill podcast with his homegirl Naturally Elise at Naturally Elise ALISE. Yo, they got an ill like old school, like you talk about Motown and like Stax Records, and like they go in depth. And this brother knows his shit. Like he knows what he's talking about. Like it's beautiful to see, man. Shout out to that brother. And he's a Brooklyn dude. And she's from Baltimore. She's from B-More. Yo, check them out, please, man. At R&B Reps on Twitter. Word up.
Y'all can hear me?
But yeah,
yep.
Yeah, we can, bro. Wow,
you said
it's beautiful.
R&B podcast?
Yeah, man. The homie JR. You follow him on Twitter. He's at JR World of Soul on Twitter. JRWRLDOFSOUL on Twitter, man. He got a dope podcast. Him and his homegirl, Naturally Elise. They got an L joint, man. Old school R&B. Like they take it back. 60s, 70s, 80s.
That sounds good though.
Man. They're dope, man. I love it. Hell yeah, man. They showed us a lot of love this week. Oh man, it's been ill, man. Shout outs to our brother Kill, our sister Portia, Vern, homeboy Vern in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Shout outs to the homie Tracy Lee, MC extraordinaire. Check out Glory, his new album, his new book. I got to purchase that joint. That joint is ill, bro. He was on IG the other day, man. He was talking about the book. You know, it's basically like a decoded for his album. He got the lyrics in there. And he's breaking down the album. And yo, it's just he goes in depth. I'm definitely got to show love. I definitely want one of those hoodies, them Glory hoodies, man. Shit's ill. But shout outs to the whole Apartment 5B, man. They showed us a lot of love. They had us on their podcast, talk about hip hop. Our favorite opening and closing lines of hip hop. So that was dope.
I meant to watch that.
To be a part of that. Shout out. Yeah, yo, bro, that episode is ill. If you love hip hop and you got a favorite opening lines,
I meant to watch that.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
you would be into that
shit. Or
yeah, well, I'm not that deep. I know like the best opening and closing lines of hip hop, but I'm gonna definitely watch that because I was talking to my fiance the other day about how anytime I hear certain Jay-Z songs, I'm like, yo, be the one who broke this song down for me. It's certain song, I'm like, yo, I'll be in a call with B like, yo, you know what happened in this song? I'm like, oh, I didn't even know. I was listening to this song with you, and he'll just break it down for you randomly. And
really? Oh. So
yo, listen.
How old are you?
Listen.
I'm turning 32 in August.
So for you, it's like everything is just coded.
Leos.
Nah,
Leos. Yo.
No. It's certain stuff. Like I'll say when prime example, when he's driving back from college, a couple years ago, man, like now. And that's when what song just dropped? That's when Watch the Throne just dropped. And he was breaking down Hove's verse about how Hove was talking about everybody else in the song. What song was that? Shit. What song was that?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank
bad.
right now. Yeah. Me too. Oh, hold on. I'm about to get it right now. Hold on.
Damn.
But you know what song I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Why am I drawing a blank? What
do you mean he's talking
Welcome
about
to the jungle.
Yep, Welcome to the Jungle. Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome.
And each
Jay's
line,
verse,
he's talking about each each rapper or not even lyricist, each musician who's been through some shit basically. And Hov is describing them as himself basically as he's rapping it. And I'm just listening to the song like, and B started breaking it down for him like, oh, I didn't even know this. And since then, I've started really like listening to real lyrics. I'm like, okay, because Hov really talking, and it really be going over my head. Since then, I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
I don't even think I noticed that for that song. I know he said Axl Rose, right? He's talking about Guns N' Roses.
He's talking about Lil Wayne in that song.
I didn't even hear him mention Lil
Eminem.
Wayne.
Yeah, Eminem. Yeah. He's talking about Prince, Mike, Big, Pac, of course.
Jackson. Big. Yep.
I'm just thinking on top of my head. I can't think who else.
When I heard that verse, and I was just like, oh shit, like, cause you know I overanalyze everything Jay spits. So when I heard it though, and I was like, yo, and it went over a lot of people's heads because I put a lot of people on it. He was like, oh shit, but I didn't even correlate that. Like, he talked about Eminem, talked about Lil Wayne, talked about Michael Jackson, Biggie, Pac.
What's the lyric?
All of them in that.
We're gonna look it up.
Yeah, my dream. I got it right here. My dreams are big.
Okay.
Biggie, Reality is set. Let off a clip from an automatic weapon through shots in the door. You know, Biggie, you know, the bullet holes in the door. I died in Vegas, Pac. Though I fought so hard, I knew I wouldn't make it. I'm a tortured soul. I live in disguise. Rest in peace to the leader of the Jackson 5. That's easily Michael Jackson. I died in my sleep. I'm still big pimping. Talk about Pimp
C.
I bought at the mall, beginning of ending. Where the fuck is his son? It's been a while. Mama, look at your son. What happened to my smile? My tears are tattered, Wayne. My tears are tattered. My rag in my pocket. You know, Wayne's claiming blood. My rag in my pocket. I'm just looking for love. Looking for love is one of Wayne's songs. I know somebody got it. Shame pain. Weed for the low. Goddamn, I'm so high. Where the fuck did I go? I'm losing myself, Eminem. I'm losing myself. I'm stuck in the moment. Live for the moment is one of Eminem's songs. I look in the mirror. My only opponent. Where the fuck is the press? Where the fuck is the prez? Either they know I don't care. I'm fucking depressed. No crying in public. I'm just lying to judges, risking my life. I'm already dying, so fuck it. Yo, a lot of it went over a lot of people's heads. But if you know, like, he's talking about all these rappers that went through some shit, man. It was such an ill verse to me, but it went over, you know, it was just slept on. But yeah. And I remember breaking that down coming from Lincoln, driving him home from Lincoln. That shit. It's crazy.
And it was so simple. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even catch any of that.
Yeah, I didn't. To be honest, his flow was good on there, but that it was things like that he used to do that I used to catch it, and it was subtle, but it would be, oh wait, I would catch it way easier back in the day, and I always felt like he lost his step, whatever. But that was dope, like that was. But I still don't understand the correlation between all these people. Like, is people that he considers the best? Like, why mention these specific rappers?
Well, the song is called "Welcome to the Jungle." He's basically correlating, saying that the rap game or the industry is the jungle, and fame can lead you to do certain things, or just life in general can lead you to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? So they all went through that. You know, they went through some shit. They went through a cipher, and you know that's what it was, man. And I said this when we had the night when we went over the Jay-Z and Nipsey Hussle song and the Nas joint. Jay says so much. It sounds so simple, but the skill of him saying less with saying more with less has been one of his illest things to me ever. Like, he can pocket so much in a few bars than a lot of MCs can do in this whole 16. Like, he can get his point across in a few bars than the most MCs can say in a whole verse. And that shit is ill to me, man. So,
he doesn't waste a ball, basically. Like, he makes sure he uses every ball, particularly, like, he makes sure he doesn't waste any ball. It's gonna be a ball that set up something else, or it's gonna ball he's talking about something in that ball. Either way.
Yeah.
I think that's where Jay and Big.
Wait, hold on.
Because it was crazy to hear that back in the day. It was like a rumor when they said Big thought Jay-Z was better than him. And like Little C's confirmed it. So because we used to watch back then, it was DVDs or, you know, tapes, and you would see, especially after Biggie died. But I always felt like they had to have pushed each other, because I mean, for Big to feel like someone who's not even blown up yet, nobody really knows him. He just heard this song, and Jay-Z's been trying to come out, and then he finally like makes this breakthrough, and then he hears like, damn. There's a story where Jay-Z said Biggs called him, told him to meet him on Times Square, some shit, like it was beef. Sits him in the car, and he plays like "Who Shot You" for him, because he knows how serious Jay-Z would take it. And he's like, yo, they heard that and they thought it was over. Like, that's how that's how seriously they took it. I don't think he knew Biggie at the time.
Right.
And then eventually, you know, Clark Kent was the one who was telling him about Jay-Z, Big about Jay-Z. And it's just ill to hear about all that. And I would think the way that he was able to put so much in each ball was because of Biggie. and then Biggie saw Jay-Z was influenced by like, damn, this guy's so witty. So when we were on the 5B podcast, I said that also, like, it's a shame that we missed out on that. Like, selfishly, we missed out on an album by those two dudes because they were gonna come out with an album together. So that was always ill to me. But I didn't catch that verse though. I didn't even realize all that shit.
Yeah, like even more collabs from them too. Like we missed out on a lot because of, and it's crazy how Big died so young.
Yeah,
like, it takes you to turn 24, like to surpass that age. I think like 25, 24, 25. Like damn, Big and Pac died around this time, and you still feel young when you're that you at that age. And to put out the kind of body of work that they did at that time, is crazy.
Yeah, even thinking about it now, it's like they were babies.
Yeah,
they were babies, but they had it. They had a lot going on. Did you guys catch the Biggie documentary on Netflix, the new one?
I meant to watch it. I need to watch that soon. I was waiting for my fiance. I'm about to just watch I'm about to just watch it.
I don't need to be on Netflix like that. Like it's hard for me to watch movies and shit now because I just it's not an interview. If it's not something about I'm not trying to watch it. But there was stuff that I did learn. Like it was, they didn't even talk about D-Rock catching the charge for Big. Like he took the gun charge. They got locked together, and D-Rock was like, "Nah, it's my gun." Yes. They never talked about this. But they talked to the guy, the jazz musician that Big grew was around Big's way. He was supposed to be a big time dude. They went back to Jamaica, talked to the grandmother, the couple summers that he spent out there. He saw the DJs in Jamaica, how they rock. All these little things that probably helped him out to understand music in his own way. It was ill. But I always get sad when I think of Big. Anyway, when we talk about Big, I get sad because it's like you said, he was so young and he kind of didn't want that problem. Like he was just, did I mention that already today? Like he was when Jay said he was in the car and they thought Big was soft. No. The same book. So they thought Big was soft because they were in a limo together and Big was like, "Oh, I'm not going in there." In some club, and they were like, it was him and Tata. He was like, "Get out of here, we going in there." They got outside the car. That fucking limo pulled off with Big in it, and Jay was like, they kind of thought Big was soft for that. But years later, Jay-Z was like, he was on top of the game, and he realized Big knew he had it. He's like, "I ain't fucking it up from this asshole in the club. I'm good. I'm Big." Literally. So shit like that was like when he got shot and killed. He said, "Yo." He was depressed for 2 weeks because it was like, how did that same dude put himself in that position? Or, you start going through all the emotions. So it's just like, and if you ever read Biggie's last interview, it's fucked up. Like they asked him about Pac. He's like, "Man, he fucked up. Like, what you doing sitting in the passenger seat?" Which is, I wouldn't be sitting in the passenger seat. It's that and the third. I'm like, oh. And the car ain't bulletproof or whatever it was. He said, I was like, yo, Big said that? Like to read that was insane.
Yeah.
So there's so much shit that it just almost had to happen. Like it was.
Yeah.
He spent 2 months in LA at that time and he was probably comfortable.
Yeah, that's sad. I hate to watch that though.
We were robbed, man. We were robbed of his presence, his talent, what he did for the game. What Big did in 3 years, a lot of artists can't say they did in a whole career. And, he's not even here no more. That run, what he did from 94 to 1997 is unreal. He wrote 2 albums, 2 solo albums. He wrote a whole album for Junior Mafia. He wrote a Little Kim album. All the guest features, R&B cuts, rap cuts is insane. And the impact he had on rap in that 3-year frame is incredible. What he did for the East Coast at that time, like we had Wu-Tang and we had Nas, but the West Coast was it. Dre and Snoop had shit on lock. When Big came on the scene, him and Puff, what they did with hip hop, and how they took the game back to the East Coast was unprecedented. The way Puff, when we spoke about Puff, his impact and what they did to the game was unreal, man. And like coming from Brooklyn, coming from close to the same neighborhood. I grew up in Crown Heights. Z, he grew up in Bed-Stuy. Like just the impact of Big was felt, and you know what I mean, in our hood, like on Fulton Street, it was right there. It's in between Crown Heights and Bed-Stuy. Fulton is like the borderline between Crown Heights and Bed-Stuy. And when he passed, like that parade, for his funeral going down Fulton Street was unreal, man. But what he did for New York and what he did for Brooklyn, like it hurt. I remember that Sunday morning, like getting up early that Sunday morning and hearing Angie Martinez on Hot 97 crying, and all these artists calling the radio station crying about Big. Like it felt like you lost one of your friends. Like that's how it felt. Even me being at that young age, like in 97, I was like 13. I was like, 12, 13, something like that. And like that hurt, man. Like my mother waking me up, like, Brad, like Biggie died. Like what? Like what? Like what?
Right.
Like, yo, Biggie, like what you mean? Like what? That was a moment. It's an unfortunate moment that we had to experience growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, but man,
I don't know who to compare it.
Like I felt like, part, huh?
I don't know what we could compare it to. Like that's a weird time. Like Pac died and Big. It was because just to put it in perspective, people forget that like Pac became big that year. Before that, Pac, before he died, like 96, it was like almost like a television show with him. Because before that, he was not in anybody's top 5. Like, I don't care what anybody says. You got to be an ill dude to say he was in your top 5 back then. Because he wasn't that ill.
Yes.
Like, he was all right. But he had hits. But then he went to jail. He was at all this shit. And if you said he was your favorite rapper, we'd be like, nigga, you don't know nothing about rap then. But then by the time All Eyes on Me came out.
You were lying.
Yeah. All Eyes on Me came out. Then he started the beef and everything. Now not all eyes were on him. No pun intended, or pun intended. But like for him to become that big of a superstar at that time and then die, it was like, oh, Mel always says it's like lightning in a bottle. So then now we were a little like, I don't think we thought Big was gonna die. We thought everything was over with Pac dying. But then when Big died, it was like, it's true. It was like your friend, it was a shock. There was a shock there. I don't care what anybody says. Like, you were shocked because these are the biggest, especially around our age. I can't compare it. Like it would be like Drake dying, God forbid.
Yeah.
Like Drake getting killed in the like not even now. Drake dying like 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I can't even say that. This was no doubt about it. Biggie was at that point he became all right. He's in your top 5. You were mentioning Big in your conversation.
He was more than the lyricist at that time. Like he became more than the lyricist.
Yeah, but he was a lyricist. We will argue that, but then, because the album didn't come out yet. There was a time period between Ready to Die and Life After Death, that people were still arguing the Raekwons of the world, Nas, Method Man. People were saying Ghostface, Prodigy. People were saying this back then, so it was a conversation. But then the death made it a little different because what they spoke about was like that they were talking about dying, and then they both died. It's just the eerie thing. It almost feels like fate. I say that sometimes people think I'm weird, but it's like, yo, look at what Big was talking about. Like you're tapped, because to be tapped into a zone where you're just not even writing shit down, and that's what comes out of that. You're in a trance. So you got to be careful what you're saying. And that's why I think Jay-Z was very careful what he was saying. He never really talked about dying like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people who toyed and flirted with that, the 50 Cents of the world, they came close to it, right? So you know what I'm saying? Like, that's, for Pac to talk about that and Big talk about that, and they just be the biggest stars in the game and make the illest shit from in those 2 years. it's a weird thing to think about. 24, 25 years of babies.
Yeah,
it was weird, man. I never
thought about that. As far as how they always rapped about it, but other superstar rappers like Hove teetered the line, but they never jumped into "I'ma die" type of raps. And I never thought about that kind of situation or that kind of perspective into it.
I didn't. Yeah, because Big seemed like such a happy. Like, everything you hear about him is happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the raps is the total opposite, like this dark side. You would think he's the scary guy that can bring this devilish, like, grimacing. He was the fucking happiest dude alive, they said. Always cracking jokes and shit, but just had this other side to him. I wish he was alive to even ask him, like, yo, what the fuck were you thinking about back then? Really, like, I understand, but he was on some fuck you mode, like. So that's weird, man.
That was how he was felt. I mean, I'm kind of glad that on the documentary, when you see it, like Big actually touches on that. Like he's like, he wasn't suicidal in real life. He's, that's the feeling he was feeling at that time. Like, what he was going through. We're ready to die. And like, we didn't hear anybody rapping like that or talking about suicide or shit like that. Like, when I die, fuck it, I want to go to hell because I'm a piece of shit. It ain't hard to fucking tell. Like, hearing that back then, it was like, oh, like, this shit is taboo. Like, that shit was wild, bro. And I love Ready to Die for that. I mean, I still have Life After Death as the better album, like the better of the two. But it's crazy because when Big passed, he died on March 9th, which is coming up. I believe that's Tuesday, right? And like a few weeks later, the album Life After Death came out. And Hypnotize was out there already. Hypnotize was the first single. It was out. It was making his runs. The video was out there. It was making his runs. And it was big. And then when that happened, it was like, wow, man. It was like a punch in the stomach. And then to hear the actual album when it came out like 2 weeks later, we were all blown away. Like, we were like, fuck. Like, yo, you hear this? When the first time I heard Somebody's Gotta Die and hearing Notorious Thugs and hearing Niggas Bleed, songs like that, and Sky's the Limit, you just felt hurt. Like, especially me, being from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, damn, like, yo, what happened, bro? And then hearing him and Jay on a song together again, well, I Love the Dough. Like, all, like, just being from Brooklyn and being close to that area, being close to, in that area we grew up in, it was like, yo, damn, son, we were robbed. But the album was so ill. It was so ill, man. And I remember every car in Brooklyn playing that album, Life After Death. It was everywhere. It was not one person playing that album. We played that religiously. I remember, like, kicking the door, like, learning the lyrics for that, like, just, laughing at Player Hater. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just that album felt different. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a different time, man. And Brooklyn was like, we were all mourning, but we were all celebrating at the same time, man. Like, even that day when they had the parade on Fulton, like, one dude, I think it's documented in the documentary or just in general. Like, one car started playing Hypnotize, and everybody in Brooklyn on Fulton Street at that time was just singing the lyrics. We all knew the lyrics already. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, it's an unfortunate moment, man, but it sticks with you. Like, where were you when Biggie passed? Like, what was going on with you when that happened? And like, I remember that Sunday morning and waking up and hearing Hot 97 and hearing Angie Martinez going through it and hearing all these artists. It was just a sad time in hip hop, man. And like, Pac, that was only a few months away. Pac passed in September. You know what I'm saying? Biggie died in March. Like, that was like what?
It's like back to back.
Gap. Maybe less. Like, yeah, man. Like, it was crazy. it was insane, man. But Life After Death, it's one of my favorite albums of all time. Like I think it's the greatest double disc album in hip hop. Um,
Easily.
a lot of people would say All Eyes on Me, but yeah, I think easily. I think it's Life After Death, man. But I just miss Big, man. Shouts to Big, man. Rest in peace.
And it's crazy because I was watching. I don't know if y'all watched Hip Hop Uncovered on FX. It's on Hulu now too.
I want to watch it.
Yeah,
it's actually good, and I'm glad they didn't jump into it because I'm tired of hip hop documentaries always just jumping into Big and Tupac and just stopping like that's the only thing that happened in hip hop ever. But they dabbled into that, and they was saying how this is my first time learning about this for real. How it was really gang related for real.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Okay. Yeah, they said Big and not
yeah,
Big.
no.
Yeah, they said Puff and Suge was arguing outside of JD's after party spot, and one of Puff's mans let off a shot. One of one of Suge's mans, OG Blood, end up getting killed, and that's what sparked everything. From there, everything went downhill. They said if that never happened, Big and Pac would still be here, and it's crazy because Big and Pac is nowhere near that scene, and they the ones who actually had to reap the benefits, but they're the ones who suffered it.
Yeah. Well,
meanwhile,
there's a mix. There's a whole. I'm the biggest Pac fan ever, but he was a part of the instigation.
Yeah, of course he was. Because they said it trickled down because they end up jumping whatchamacallit and all that, but still, but they said but they said if JD never invited Puff and Suge into his party, none of this would ever happen. Like there'll been hip hop beef, but there wouldn't have been real street beef. That's what they say, and it's crazy because Big and Pac are the ones who ended up suffering. Meanwhile, Puff is reaping the benefits of everything that's going on, and Suge, he's going on.
You know who killed Puff's man? That's Wolf.
Yeah,
that's these dudes, BMF dudes killed him.
Yeah, they have.
At this, I think the same club in the same spot that happened, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I know. I know it's gang related though. I thought it was just like some real hip hop beef.
It was only because that's why Puff and Big thought they were cool in LA because they were hanging with the Crips. Suge confirmed it. I was just shocked that Suge confirmed it before this because this guy actually went on. It is weird. At the time, we knew it was kind of obvious. Like Pac stomped this dude out. He was a Crip. Puff put a hit out on for the chain, for the death row chains or whatever. He was the guy that took the death row chain when they stomped out in the casino. Tupac really had no business stomping this dude out, but that guy was a real killer. He ends up shooting Pac in his uncle's car, but everybody in that car is dead. That shot Pac, except for the uncle who's Keefy D, and he ended up telling the story. Like that was the weirdest shit ever that he confessed it. I don't know if you heard that. Like he details it.
Damn.
Yeah, it's weird. And he ended up getting what's called like a proffer agreement where he's able to confess some shit like that and not get charged for it. And he explains what happened. And he even says, yo, Puff he owed me $1 million. And the dude Zip from uptown, he was, I don't even know if I should be saying that. But he's
listen. Slow down.
He's dead. Zip is dead.
Yeah.
Like these dudes that's the whole story's out there already, bro. Like I thought it was weird to read it, and the cops had it right. Like you hear little Caesars on Drink Champs, and he said he was watching some documentary. He goes, "Yo, cops, it wasn't too far off from what I heard. Everything they were saying is basically the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like Puff, what happened? And then TK Kirkland came out. You know what? It's all out there, to be honest with you. TK Kirkland came out on Vlad TV, and he said he used to live with Zip. It's
crazy.
Weird. Puff and Zip knew each other because Puff's pops was a gangster. So all these guys, like the guy that ended up shooting Pac in New York. These guys were all related because in the street they knew each other. They're older than Puff, obviously, because his father's involved. So they knew Zip's from uptown. Zip had a connection in LA with the Crips. So he was making money out there, and that's how he linked up Puff with the Crips to have protection for Big and for them when they go out there. So they thought they were good. Meanwhile, you're really kind of antagonizing these guys. If Pac just got shot 6-7 months ago, and he got shot by the same dude, so Suge and the Pyru Bloods will have every reason to go shoot at you. I forgot if they said it was Pooch or whoever it was that was on Suge's side that killed Puff. But all the gangster dudes that we heard, that you hear about in the documentaries, we heard about them growing up from in Tut and Haitian Jack and everybody. Tupac shouted out. They ended up beefing with 50 Cent. Like those, they were in the street. Those names were there. It was prevalent. But
I just hope they stop, and then they hope they stop these Pac and Big documentaries. I hope the one they put on Netflix is Big's last doc. I heard it's great. I need to watch it, but unless the families are getting money for them, I think they need to stop them, because I feel like everybody's just using them at this point.
Reaping the
it seems like it's a Pac and Big documentary every other day. I need to watch the one on Netflix. I heard that one's good.
Yeah, no, it's good. A lot of people on Twitter, a lot of hip hop Twitter, they were voicing their opinions on it. A lot of people didn't want to see another Big documentary, but there was footage on this one.
Yeah, I heard it's different.
I've never seen before. Yeah, it was perspectives I never heard from before, and like shouts to D-Rock and his camera, man. He recorded everything back in the day, and he gave a lot of footage that was unseen from prior. And his mom, Big's mom, was definitely involved. Ray said it before earlier. Like Big's grandmother was in the documentary. They went to Jamaica. His uncle, like the scene, the sound clashes, against the big sounds against each other back in Jamaica, or the battles back then. Like Big was, he got to see that, and Big growing up with the jazz musician on his block. Like a lot of, there's a lot of those things I didn't know about. So I mean, it was a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's gonna be the same shit." We what are they teaching us this time? Like it was things we already knew, but nah, I learned a few new things about Big. And listen, at the end of the day, it's hip hop, and you celebrating Big. I could never be against that. I don't care how many documentaries they put out. You know what I'm saying? I'm from Brooklyn, and what Big meant for Brooklyn and for hip hop, it means a lot to me. So I was all for it. I didn't care if it was the same information as before. As long as his mom was down with it, his family was with it, his son is getting paid. That's all that matters to me, man. And I enjoyed the documentary. It was good. It was definitely good to see. If you love hip hop, definitely check it out.
If his family is getting like bread or some kind of residuals from every documentary that's getting put out, keep putting out 1 million of them then, from Pac and Big's fam. But like I saw, if they're gonna keep putting out documentaries and their family's not getting anything from it, I say stop them. But I heard this one is different and you learn more information. If I'm not learning anything new about Big in this one, I don't want to see it. But I heard this one is different. This one's great, so I'm feeling to watch this one. I'm probably watch it tomorrow, most likely.
I don't know what it is about them, but usually anything Pac related, I'm watching it. Usually anything Big related, I'm watching it. And I don't know. So I guess it must be something. You know what I mean? They keep coming out with it, and I think they still tell Pac's story wrong. Like I wish I could write. I think I want to start working on that. Like the way I think he was like the most prepped person, superstar to ever be in the spotlight. Like if you listen to his interviews, he just says ridiculous shit that you could tell he was Trump back then. He was Tekashi. He was 50 Cent. He was a troll. He would know what to say to piss you off. He knew what to say to make you pay attention. So for him, like, there's an interview where he's talking about like he feels like he's a Shakespearean character. Like the media just uses him as this Tupac machine. And I'm just like, yo, that's what the fuck you were thinking about 22 years old, 23 years old. That's what the hell went through your head. He was raised by his mother was pregnant with him in jail. The Black Panthers teaching him, yo, this government, everything that that MAGA is talking about now, the Black Panthers were teaching each other back then about the government 60 years ago. So these are enlightened things where they tell them, listen, you're gonna be targeted for your skin color, but you're up next because you're part of this fucking. I'm not fucking. I'm sorry. You're part of this group. You're part of a different kind of tribe here. This is a different group of people. These are Black Panthers is different level.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be self-educated, self-taught, prep for the trick, the real technology of the government. So he was already ready for the media, and there's no other rapper that I can think of that was prepped like he was, especially with the popularity that he had. So even if you listen to, I don't know if you ever heard, there's a phone conversation he has with like a Crip dude, Monster Cody. And he breaks down like, yo, you were a gangbanger. You started off like that first, and now you're doing the politics shit. I started off political, but now I'm doing a gangbanging. We're both doing the same shit. Boom, boom, boom. I want to go to every city and just visit every gangster. Every gangster do that. I don't want to talk to the mayor. I want to talk to the gangster that's around there. We have a fucking softball game. See, like he just planned everything out. Prodigy had one of his books. I think E Money Bag, somebody gave him a book and he was reading it and he was saying, yo, you remind me of Pac. Everything you're talking about is structuring everything like a mafia. He wanted to get every gangster together like a black mafia. And he was like, if you listen to this last interview about Big, he was saying, yo, this is like a presidential election. I'm spanking him. This, that, and the third. His mindset was a different level. And it's unfortunate that we didn't get to see them, pull through.
That's what I hate.
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time, he kind of he brought it onto himself. You're playing with the devil too much, man. Like the people he was playing with, it was part of his marketing scheme. Like, Tekashi did the same thing, but he didn't suffer the consequences. You know what I'm saying? This guy suffered the consequences. But he was playing with fire, and he got fucking burnt out. But it's you're right. I don't know why we just get so stuck on that. That was 25 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like why are we still watching that? Like it happened yesterday. Listen, do you have any artists like that for yourself?
What that I'm stuck on?
Yeah, like us. I mean, only 6 years younger than me.
Nah, I think honestly. I think Big and Pac is the epitome of it. Like I keep saying, I don't want to see any more documentaries of them unless the family's getting some kind of residuals from it. But any Big and Pac documentary, I'm gonna watch it somehow, some way. I'm gonna watch it probably a year afterwards, or I'm gonna watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're the ball because with them is the potential, like what could have been from them. We know what we got from them, but it's like what could have been as far as Pac. I think he would have left rap and start going to like production and activism and all poetry, all that. Big would have been given verses like how Hove do every once in a while, but Big would start focusing on Junior Mafia and bringing on his mans in them. So it would have been so much more of what could have been from them. I think that's why everybody's so stuck on them and so stuck on the documentaries, and they're just like the epitome of it. Damn, but me too, like I'm trying to turn 32, and I wasn't coherent, I'll say, when Big and Pac was killed, but I was around. I don't remember what happened, but I was there. I'm born and raised in Brooklyn, in Bed-Stuy, so I was there when everything was going on. But everything, yeah, I think it was the potential of what could have been with them. Because nobody knows. Everybody keeps saying, yo, because how I look at Pac, I think Pac was ascended hip hop. He would just say, all right, I'm done with rapping. I'm gonna focus on like how Nipsey started doing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think he took it to a higher level than how Nipsey was going towards.
Yeah.
And even Nipsey was close. Nipsey, I think was like part of me feels like, yo, damn, so Nipsey was that close. And it still took like almost 25 years to have that next Like I look at shit like that, like so almost like biblical, like 100 years from now, 300 years from now, there might be like a hip hop Bible, like on some real shit. And you see these passages of like what Black Americans have to go through to become this culture. Like, yeah, they're celebrities, but at the same time, shit, like these aren't just celebrities. These are words. These are like the songs and the verses and the lyrics. They're touching. You read them. Dear Mama is like is ridiculous. Like we didn't even talk about the same way Big, the album came out 2 weeks later, Life After Death, after he died. Machiavelli came out. This guy's on a cross. Picture that. I'm 13, 14, and I'm seeing this guy just died a month earlier, 2 months earlier, and now the next album cover I see is him on a cross.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's eerie. It's eerie.
Yeah.
It was eerie at that time. Like this is my piece. And I think I shared this with you, Ray. Like, being from Brooklyn, I love Big. But at that time as a kid, I loved Pac more. I just the emotional aspect of his lyrics, his songs, it hit me differently at that time. And I love Big. I never took anything away from Big. I never hated Big. I love Big, but it was just something that gravitated me towards Pac at that time more so. And this is before his death, because maybe it was my mother. My mother loved Pac, and like just hearing Me Against the World, him going to jail at that time was just different. And like it just felt different. And I related more to Pac at that time than I did Big. And like it just when he passed, when Machiavelli dropped, like 2 months after, September, like that, it came out that November, the 7-8 Theory, it was just, and seeing that image, they had to put the disclaimer on the album cover, like this is no way disrespect to Jesus Christ or, whatnot. But that album was just, it hit hard from beginning to end. And yeah, but when Big passed, no one, I gotta be honest, like I didn't see, even when Big going to Cali and him touring and promoting the album, I didn't think Big was gonna pass away, man. I ain't know dudes was gonna really do that to Big after Pac died. And like I think the Big death hit me worse than Pac's. I mean, Pac was like, that was shocking seeing my mother cry, and like just seeing people crying when Pac passed, and watching BET Rap City, they're playing a marathon of Tupac videos. It was just different. You know what I'm saying? It was just different, and I don't know, man. It was just that gap between both deaths was eerie. Like you said, it was just eerie. I don't know. It was a weird time in hip hop, man. As a fan.
Damn. I don't know. This feels like a heavy conversation. It just end like that. But I don't know. Where you want to go, B? This feels weird having this Knicks thing.
I wrap this up, man.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
My man Z, so he does have the 2000 Golden State stamina. Pause. So B, bring it on home, brother.
Who, me?
Yo, listen.
No, B.
Shouts to my brothers for coming on tonight, man. I appreciate you, bro, for coming talking about the Knicks. It was this was I gotta be honest, man. This is probably, to me, this is probably the most special. This is the best podcast I think we had. Yeah, we had some dope joints, right? We got some joints in the floor that we even put out there. Yo, the fact that I'm sharing this moment with my brother, you on here tonight. We talking about the Knicks, talking about the Nets, All-Star Weekend. We talked about Big. We talked about Pac. It was this is just dope. We talked about MJ and LeBron. We covered a lot of bases. We got a lot of content for 3 hours and 44 minutes.
45.
Yeah. this was ill, man. Z, thank you, bro. Thank you for coming. Coming on, put in perspective, man. Like it takes a lot to put yourself out there and be on camera and speak about just the regular stuff you talk about anyway. But when you get on camera, you're front of a bunch of people. You put yourself in front of the camera is a different feel, man. But it feels right. Doing this with Ray, doing this with you, and yeah, man. This is definitely a classic, I would say.
I appreciate y'all for having me. It was good to be on. At first, I was type nervous, like, all right, what am I gonna talk about for the Knicks for whenever, like for 4 hours? But once you get going, like y'all made me feel comfortable about this. It was family basically talking to. It's regular barbershop talk, so it was good to be on. I love what y'all doing though. Keep it going.
Appreciate it, Z. Appreciate you coming on. We gonna get ready for more Knicks tape. We need you because I'm back on the bandwagon. I'm back.
Oh my god! All right. I'm holding you to that. I'm holding you to that too.
Yo, bring us home. Like at the broadcast.
Yes, yo, thank you. Shouts to my brother Z coming on the podcast. Your boy Raymundo Telemundo, hit your SAP button. My boy representing the QU borough. Yo, it's your boy B Mad representing Brooklyn all day. You ready to see it? Yo, thank y'all for tuning in. Please like and subscribe at Put in Perspective TV. Yeah, man, another one in the books. Yo, please keep supporting, keep showing us the love, and we're gonna keep bringing it. Home for y'all. So much love. We hit y'all next time. Peace and love.
Peace out.
All right.